The signatures in the skies, the U.S. government understands it represents a form of sentient, non-human intelligence. I know that sounds very Star Trek, a la, Gene Roddenberry and Rod's dad's sci-fi series, but it is true. And I want, the American public to be comforted that the universe is teeming with life, it seems, and readily, able to be explored. And the U.S. government does have a lot of information that I think will inspire Gen Alpha and Gen Z and the American populace at large. And it will be a new era. It'll be a little uncomfortable. There'll be some truths that are be a hard pill to swallow, but I think it's ultimately a good thing to get this out there. And I think the people of the world and the American public will be very happy to understand their place in the universe, so to speak.
What doesn't totally make sense is why now disclosure, other than, this is being cynical. The Iran war is not going very well. American public's very upset. A lot of people don't think we should have ever been involved in that in the first place, and we need some good news. This is last term, right? And so it's like if someone's gonna do it, do it. You want to leave a legacy? Be the guy who releases all these files.
I tried to kill him 3 times.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Well, it makes sense that if you were a super advanced life form from wherever, that if you wanted to have a base, some sort of a base where you'd monitor us, it would be in the ocean. Yeah. You'd be right there. You could get out of it real quick and go to wherever you wanted to go.
They don't have the capabilities to get down that deep, actually. But they did say that the sightings were happening in I think 4 of the 5 deep water areas around our world.
And
he didn't have any other, and then I was on talking about it, and somebody said, Tim Burchett says that they're underwater bases, and then, and they had Gates was on the other day, and he was briefed. I just told what I was briefed on, and he was briefed by a guy that said it was in uniform. They were capturing people and breeding them with these aliens. And, he just talked.
What?
So, yeah, he was on, you can pull it up. Matt Gates, he talked about it. He didn't say he believed it, but, we get briefed on, that's what I'm talking about, the PSYOP. Here's part of the problem, too. They bring you information, and you go forward with this, and this is the truth, these underwater bases, whatever. And then they prove it doesn't exist, and then they just discredit you, and they discredit the whole movement. So that's why I'm very cautious anytime anybody brings me any information or pictures or testimony or, third cousin's recollection.
Captured extraterrestrials mating with abducted humans from war zones and migrant caravans to create hybrids for intergalactic communication. He claimed the whistleblower identified between 6 and 12 such facilities in the U.S. and sought coordinated congressional visits to prevent relocation of the activities, though Gates did not verify any of the information. How could you? You going to talk to the hybrids?
That's the first time I've ever heard that one, or that's sort of what we heard the last time. And then I said, everybody just be real careful with it, because if it gets out, then they'll come after you, or they want it to get out so they can discredit you and make you look like a fool. Orbs was the thing I was thinking of earlier. Orbs. That's the new word that you hear a lot of, and it's getting away from saucers. And
well, there's a lot of weird stuff with orbs where people say that they could summon them.
Yeah, I'm not on that.
Landing. Well, I think we're going to be releasing as much as we can in the near future for some reason, and I guess it's just a reason it's been in the minds of people for a long time. And that is such, they want to find out about the UFOs and anything having to do with UFO or related material. And we're going to be releasing a lot of things that we have. And I think some of it's going to be very interesting to people. I've interviewed people, my first term primarily, but I interviewed some pilots, very solid people. And they said they saw things that you wouldn't believe.
Whoa. All right. Who's been to the page? Who has been to the page? Let me get the chat pulled up here on the screen. Hey, what's up, Poker Dealer 03? Happy to be hanging out on this exciting day. This is crazy, right? We got 17 pages of files, videos, pictures, reports. Holy shit. Man, see, I'm so taken aback. You're watching the Gabriel Speaks Podcast. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Don't forget, hit like and subscribe if you haven't done that already. Gray Owl, hope you're having a great afternoon. TX971. Boy, they were here early, huh? People are ready. Man, people are ready. It's time. It's time. So I'm going to show you first one of the craziest videos I found so far. Take a look at this. What do y'all think that is? Oh, pause right there. Holy shit. Anybody want to tell me what that is? Do we got any aeronautics, aerospace experts in the house? Know anything that flies around like a star? He released this one a while back, Gray Owl. Holy well, I must have missed that. I must not be paying enough attention to Corbell. Because this is fucking wild. Wow. Okay, Poker Dealer says lens flare. Okay. I'm not an expert, so I'm not going to argue either way. I just know that looks wild. And that looks like it's moving, not the lens. And also you can see like tracer behind it. What a lens, I guess the flare would leave a trace. I don't know. So we've got a bunch of just crazy videos like this. We've got a whole bunch of FBI files for the most part. There's some military files like Air Force and other groups like that as well, but primarily what I saw were FBI files. And this stuff just came out, so I haven't really had a chance to go through a lot of it. So we will go through some of this together. Take a look at what the hell did we stumble across? So lens flare is one idea. The wheel in the sky, they called it. Yeah. You seen one years ago? Could see that. But yeah, that you say wheel in the sky, and it's like that. Makes me think of that old painting. What was that old painting where, like in the forefront it's a painting of a woman, but way in the back you see this kind of like star-looking thing up in the sky, and it looks like there's a person on the mountain, maybe communicating with it or something. Almost reminds me of that. So Flak Magnet will be joining us soon, and we can get some of his input on some of this stuff. But yeah, absolutely crazy. Let's do this. We're going to go ahead and hop over to the actual file release here. Okay, so this is the Department of War, and I'm pretty sure it's like a /UFO. war.gov/UFO. That's how you want to get there. And you can see I'm at page 15. So I myself have not even barely scratched the surface. But we'll go way back to 1 here. And a lot of these, as I said, are like FBI files. Now, this is just an image. We can zoom in on that. And the thing is, you can look at this stuff and go, well, whatever. It's not that big of a deal. But it was a big enough deal with all of the sensors and data that we have that they filed it away in this folder, right? So somebody thought it was a big deal, or that it could have been a big deal. And remember, not all of this is going to mean like UFO. Some of this is going to mean like maybe our enemy's ability to breach our airspace using some weird technology. That could certainly be a piece of it as well. But I got to tell you, that star video, that is something else. Okay. Now we've also got these, which I think I actually might have a little better quality. These NASA pictures on the moon where there's this fucking weird ass. The fuck is that? Again, I'm not going to pretend to know. But what we do know for sure, for 100% certain, that cannot be argued, that cannot be debated, that is absolute fact, is that someone looked at these images, I'm sure had them ran by experts, and still could not come with a plausible explanation. And that's why they're in these files. I mean, the one time we land on the moon, so we get these legends that build, right? Like Aldrin and, Armstrong, they land on the moon and there's a fleet of UFOs. Like, y'all have made it. You can travel through space. Like, it's not really what happened. But this happened, it looks like. And this was enough to freak them out. And this could explain the strange behavior when they got back home and they were like, yeah, it was great. We saw the moon and some other shit that creeped us the fuck out. So maybe not a fleet of UFOs when you picture it in your mind's eye, but a fleet of UFOs. See, truth is like that. Truth is always somewhere in the middle, right? Where you're like, oh, that makes more sense than this insane thing. But it also makes more sense than this super mundane explanation they're trying to give, or just denial altogether. This is truth. These are our astronauts on the moon taking pictures of some weird shit. Maybe it is a reflection. Maybe it is a refraction. I don't know. But it got their attention. Fucking crazy. I mean, if that is, I can't believe I'm saying this. If that is a refraction, I mean, that is so fucking impressive. So I guess that would mean it's like the reflection or refraction of some kind of piece or part, and maybe that's why it looks so, geometrically perfect. Like we could be looking at some internal component of the camera. Is that kind of the deal? Alien chickens. Oh shit, Graham, you crack me up, buddy. So what I don't know. My education was not in figuring out how these things work. And if that's all it is, then the person that decided to file this way under this secret folder didn't know how it worked either. Because they probably thought the same thing I thought when I looked at it was, holy shit. What the hell is that? Could that be a camera error? I don't know, man. But we've got like folders and folders and folders. Let's take a look here at some actual files. So this is a file from the FBI. Let's see if we can't zoom in. That's not a very good view, is it? Okay. So what are we looking at here? Okay. Subject, flying discs. August 8th. Oh my God. 1947. That was kind of a big year for flying discs. Reference is made to my letter to the Bureau dated July 28th, 1947, entitled as above, forwarding a copy of a report furnished to me by Lieutenant Colonel Donald Springer, Hamilton Field, California, setting forth the results of inquiries made by his office concerning the reported sightings of flying discs. As a further interest to the Bureau in this regard, that's scribbled over. There are transmitted herewith photostatic copies of 3 letters. Okay. This has to do with the way they're formatting it. It is noted that these investigations were conducted prior to the time Bureau instructions were issued that our own Bureau would conduct inquiries into the reported sightings of flying discs. Copies of these reports are being forwarded to the Portland and Phoenix offices for the completion of their files in connection with this subject. Interesting. So like maybe Portland and Phoenix, that's where you'd find Mulder. Well, come on, guys. What, you got a copy stain here? So unprofessional. Okay, August 13th, 47. See if there's anything interesting in here. References made to the teletype from the Newark Division to the Bureau dated August 4th, 1947, stating that a flying disc had been reported to have been seen at Hackensack, New Jersey on August 3rd, last by one Charles Casella Jr. and William True. Charles Casella Jr., 287 Euclid Avenue, Hackensack, upon interview by Special Agent Arthur F. Williams of the division, stated on August 3rd, he had been standing with William True, a soldier stationed at Fort Dix, observing a ham radio rig atop a 2-story house on Simons Avenue in Hackensack. Beautiful country. It was approximately 7:45 p.m., and they were in this vicinity for the purpose of meeting True's girlfriend, one Joyce McFarland. Fucking Joyce. True commented to Cecilia that a child had apparently lost its balloon. Cecilia looked, and about a block or a half a block away, noticed a round black object moving from south to north to east of the stop where he and True were standing. Casella noticed that it was moving too fast to be an ordinary balloon, but he could not discern whether it was globular in form or a disc. He said it was about 30 to 40 inches in diameter, moving north in a horizontal plane about 200 yards above the top of the hill at Summit Avenue and Simons Avenue. It proceeded at a steady rate, emitted no rays, and was moving fast enough to require them to turn their heads steadily in order to follow it. True's girlfriend came out about 15 seconds after they first sighted it. They pointed it out to her, and she said that it looked like a bird on the horizon, so small. It faded out of sight shortly thereafter. Casella said that a line drawn along its apparent course of flight would go from the vicinity of Bendix, New Jersey, to a point west of Westwood, New Jersey. Casella also said that a man on the porch across the street also noticed it and pointed it out to the women. Casella said that this man seemed excited, but did nothing about it. She said that he said that he was positive it was no optical illusion. He was not facing into the sun and saw the object clearly. He also said that he would have thought nothing of it except for the speed at which it was traveling. August 13th, 1947. Wow. Hacky sack. Oh shit. I remember hacky sack. I mean, I never played it, but like, I remember, going to school and there'd be like people kicking the sack around, doing other things, then kicking a sack around some more. So how interesting, like that doesn't sound that crazy, right? It sounds like it could have just been the fucking balloon they were looking at the whole time, to be honest with you. But the fact that this is an Office of Memorandum report for the FBI, the subject is flying disc, and they filed away in some secretive matter. And this could go back to what we hear a lot. A lot of these people that are involved in these types of things, they say it's this overclassification, right? If there's any doubt, classify it. There's no need to panic anyone. Classified. It could be the most mundane, silly thing. Classify it. Overclassification. So, of the multiple pages of shit that has now been released, I'm afraid that's going to be the story with a lot of it. I think a lot of it, we're going to come into it and go, oh, okay. Or like Poker Dealer saying, like if it was really interesting shit, how many documents that were instantly burned? It's a great fucking point, right? Because we know our intelligence agencies have no problem. I was going to give it a little inch, but they don't even have that. They have no problem just burning evidence. I mean, they've done it multiple times. What very little shit we got on MK Ultra was mostly just tax shit because they forgot to burn it. So, Abu Ghraib, think about all the tapes that got missing or burned there, all the interrogation tapes outside of Abu Ghraib that just conveniently go missing or burned or whatever. I think with the tapes, there was even a CIA director that said, yep, I did it. Was like, no problem at all. But these, they didn't burn. So this is pretty interesting. Okay. Now that was the first report. This is a letter to Bureau, August 13th, 47. And I guess the date more than anything has me interested in if there's anything to these papers here. This talks about an interview with Miss Joyce McFarland. So that initial report happens, and now the FBI is actually sitting down with her, talking with her. Sounds like it's just her kind of summarizing the story that I just read again. Yeah, nothing too crazy there. Just giving some dates and some times for reference, if you needed that kind of stuff down the road. So, even in 47, I say even in 47, I mean, pretty much since the FBI has been around, they do an outstanding job with record keeping, right? You got to give them that, if anything. This FBI Detroit office. So this is August 5th, 47. Director FBI urgent. Unsubs Raymond Edward Land, Mrs. Laura Lane. Laura Lane. Interesting. Informants, flying disc, miscellaneous. Info received from Dow Chemical Company, Midland, Michigan, that on July 10 of last year, Raymond Edward Lane, an employee of Dow and subsidiary since about 1922, brought some material to their physics lab, stating that about 5:15 p.m. July 9 last, he and his wife, Laura Lane, were walking in a field owned by Dow, and about 100 feet away heard a puff noise, turned and saw a ball of white about the size of a bushel basket burning. A white ball about the size of a bushel basket burning. So that's like what we would today call an orb, right? The fire died out immediately, and Lane later scooped up a 3-inch area of fused sand into a can and took this to the physics lab. Both complainants interviewed, and I cannot read that at all. Both complainants interviewed, Raymond telling substantially same story, but wife reluctant to talk and very indefinite on what happened. There are marked discrepancies in their story. Dow authorities consider story fantastic, but have examined material and state contents to be ordinary sand, not radioactive, but giving off ammonia gas, a small silver nugget, and then they just butchered this part, pure except for sand, mist in it, not radioactive, melted, this part is butchered, melted something sand which gives off ammonia odor, and little droplets of silver. And some other grayish color and material, which is radioactive. Level of radioactivity extremely low. An employee formerly employed by government at Los Alamos Project states fused sand has some characteristic of Los Alamos sand, but not believed to be the same. Whoa, okay. Okay, hold on. So if there's a crash in Roswell, there probably would have samples of that sand at Los Alamos, right? Like, that's not crazy to think. And so if they're talking to somebody they think has had an incident and has this sample of sand, they send it to Los Alamos. They go, hey, compare this to the sand where that crash happened in 1947. And let's see if there's any of the same characteristics in it. That would mean, holy shit, that means Roswell's real, y'all. That's what that means. At least real enough for these people to compare what they thought might be other crash sites to the soil they found at their crash site. They're using what they have as a baseline. That means they had something. Thank you. That's what a college degree will get you. Okay. Let's see here. Possession of small quantity. Okay. Los Alamos, but did not believe to be the same. Raymond Land, known to have in his possession small quantity of luminous paint, radioactive, to be an amateur photographer, to have limited knowledge of chemistry and physics from employment at Dow. Land described as very peculiar, surely antagonistic to plant protection officers, interested in photography and electricity. Lane is white, born May 7, 1902 at Free Soil, Michigan, 5 feet 9.5, 145 pounds, dark brown hair. Okay, I don't know why this is interesting. He served as U.S. Army 1918 to 1923. Convicted 1922 for Midland County, Michigan for burglary, serving 60-day sentence. Neither party admits story is a prank. But Lane has mentioned flying discs and rockets. On interview, Lane was reluctant to discuss matter, and neither he nor his wife were able to locate the exact location where material was found. Army Air Force's intelligence at Selfridge Field, Michigan, have been advised Sutel if Bureau desires material forwarded to FBI laboratory for examination. That looks like a line correction. Okay, so somebody tell me I'm not crazy, y'all, right? Like if they're finding what might be other potential landing sites, sending a sample of the soil from that site to Los Alamos to compare it to the site from Roswell, then they're pretty confident something crashed at Roswell. Wow. You know, it's one thing to like have a feeling that like you know something your whole life. That's quite another feeling to find out it's real. It's real. It really happened. And now we have the evidence. So we have to be getting close to actually seeing something we may have. Let's take a look. This is another Office of Memorandum. This is August 8th. Setting forth the pertinent information received by the Detroit office from Raymond Edward Lane. Okay. So this has to do with the samples they received at this crash site, or I don't even know if this was a crash site. This is just a site, right? Where some kind of interaction took place. Information was received from the Dow Chemical Company in the mission. Okay, so this looks like just kind of the final report we just went over with some final touches on it. Neither Raymond Lane nor his wife will admit their story is a prank. However, neither are able to put out exact location of this incident. The Army Air Force Intelligence at Selfridge Field, Michigan, has been advised, and the material has been turned over to them. The material has been turned over to them. All right, now this looks like it may... Oh, is this a different case? August 8th, 1947. Flying disc sighted by Mrs. Robert Little. Security matter X. Okay. Chicago Herald American today reported that Little of 6327 Harper Avenue, Chicago, reported seeing a disc 3:30 a.m. today sailing above Lake Michigan off Jackson Park Beach. Little unavailable for interview today. Father-in-law, Joseph Rainier, goes on to his details, advised Little sighted disc over a month ago, and she is 18 years of age. No further inquiry contemplated. Sure. Okay. July 21st, 47. Another flying disc report. Colonel Carl Golberson of the Intelligence Division of the War Department advised special agents Reynolds of the liaison section that the War Department has received a telegram dated New York, New York, July 5th as follows. For further details concerning flying discs, suggest immediate contact of Mr. Richard F. Shaver, Lily Lake, Illinois, who may have important information concerning their origin. Oh, fuck. May have important information concerning their origin. Their origin. Give me just a moment here. I think I made a mistake, and I think Flak is waiting for the link here. So hopefully we'll get Flak in here soon. I've just been so engrossed reading this. I mean, y'all, this is the first time. Now, maybe somebody got bits and pieces of these released reports before, but this is the first time we've been able to look at them with and know there's no fuckery. Like, this is it. This is the FBI report on the matter. This is the official investigative report. So as you're going through this site and you're reading this stuff, remember, like, you're actively part of history right now. This is a big moment for anyone that's been interested in this field. This is a gargantuan moment, and don't let anybody tell you otherwise. This is unedited, unadulterated, unfiltered, as far as we know, information right from the horse's mouth. These were reports that were taken, sealed up, locked away, key thrown away, until now. And I'm not going to be surprised at all if, as we're going through some of these stories, we're not doing that all now. Are you serious? There's 17 pages. I'm just saying, as you personally are going through some of these pages and reading this stuff, I would imagine you're going to come to points where you're like, oh shit, that's that fucking one story. That's that crash I heard about in Italy in 1938. Oh, fuck. It actually happened. Don't let anybody tell you this isn't a big deal, y'all. This is a big deal. And I'm sure some of these are going to be a little redundant, right? A little boring to go through time after time. But again, this is official reports. It's wild. Okay. I'm sorry. I'll get off my soapbox. So here's another report. Flying saucers dated July 7th, 1947, addressed to Commanding General Washington, D.C. from John Schindler, a copy of which is attached, so on and so forth. Colonel Goberson advised that in view of the fact that the observation of the flying saucers was made on July 7th, and the date of the unsigned telegram is July 5th, together with the proximity of Lily Lake to the points where the objects were observed, he desired the Bureau conduct some investigation of Shaver to determine whether or not he has any information pertaining to the origin of the flying saucers. Y'all catch that? This guy told him where saucers were going to be 2 days before it happened. And they were like, oh, maybe we should send somebody over to talk to this guy. Mr. Reynolds advised Colonel Galbranson that his request would be made known to you and the results of any investigation would be brought to his attention. Recommendation: it is recommended that the field be directed to make inquiries regarding Shaver And if deemed advisable, interview him regarding any information that he has relative to flying discs. The results of any investigation should be forwarded to the liaison section for delivery to the Intelligence Division of the War Department. So these, this guy is thinking, oh my God, I like figured out where these discs were going to be before they got here. That's pretty cool. And now the fucking Department of War is coming after him. 1947. What y'all think they're doing to people now? We heard Joe and Burchett talk about it, the orbs. I talked to people that claim they have the same ability. I've seen the pictures. I've seen the video. The ability to go out and somehow interact with whatever these things are, and they show up. So you, by doing that, at least in 1947, and I doubt this has changed, are putting yourself on a short list that the intelligence agency has. Unfortunately. I think that's great, Grail. I think if we all have that power within us, that's fantastic. But also, I think, be careful, because this is 1947. They decide this guy knew where some fucking discs were going to be before they got there, 2 days prior to them getting there. And now they're releasing the hounds on him. Looks just like your PFP, I bet. Dogs, just like that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, shit. Mr. Flak in the house. How are you, sir?
Good evening.
Oh, we love it when Flak. It's been one hell of a morning so far, buddy.
Oh, dude, I've been ripping through everything I can find on that Gov website. I got through most of it. I haven't read through a lot of the texts, but some of it I got some
Wait. You got through
intriguing stuff.
17 pages of data already? I hate you.
You whipped right through that shit.
I hate you.
I didn't read all of it. There's so much there, but like I did rip through as many of it.
That's why I tell you,
like,
you need to start a YouTube channel, because I know people here with me are like, fucking Gabe, come on. I'm just reading it paragraph by paragraph by paragraph. I'm not whipping through
There's
shit
so
over
much.
here, man. There's
dude,
just so much.
So much.
Yeah, but we've already, in the first FBI report that I pulled up to read, we have already confirmed Roswell happened. There was a UFO crash at Roswell. Officially.
I'm freaking out about the NASA stuff, man. Mostly because that's where I got my bones.
Yeah, I'm waiting. I do have a video processing with some of the NASA audio on there, and then also some additional video files. Let me see how close we are with that. Because yes, I'm right with you. The NASA audio is pretty telling.
There's also look for PDFs of the NASA stuff too, because they have a lot of photos in there, but it'll be like one photo per little thing. Once you get down to like page, I think 15, 16, and 17, you'll have. Man, I was looking at NASA photos since 2000. Like ever since I watched some documentary that Richard Hoagland was in, I kind of been obsessed with the moon. And then I realized they have a ton of it on their database around like 2000. So I would sit on there all the damn time, and you would see these little blue lights, these little things in the background. And I clocked those a real long time ago, and bringing them up, you just get told, no, that's bokeh, that's this, that's that. Now we officially have word from NASA, because even if you believe it or not, NASA claiming that they don't know what the fuck it is and that those things are anomalous, we can chalk that up like in the record books for now we can call anything that we see similar in any of the moon photos that they don't attribute to UFOs.
I'm just removing the comments so folks can see your awesome alien PFP for a moment. And yeah, speaking of NASA, we have these pictures here from on top of the moon and on the moon. And one thing I was saying was, isn't that always how it goes with the truth, right? You have this fantastical story of an alien fleet waiting for these guys as they land on the moon. But the reality is, and then you have the other side of the argument that there's absolutely nothing there, that it's all in people's imagination. But the reality is somewhere in the middle. There's some weird shit that they're making maybe not making contact with, but they are in some way making contact with, seeing up there on the moon. So much so that they take these pictures and file them away. So maybe not a fleet of UFOs, but kind of a fleet of UFOs.
And from like the whistleblowers from NASA, they said that there were so many things in these photographs that they had a hard time airbrushing them all out, which means they missed some. So now we can all go back and start our nerd research right from the beginning again. But now, at least with the knowledge that the things that they told us weren't anomalous, now they're telling us they are. So even if they're bullshitting, they kind of gave their cards away on this one. And now they have to, when we find more anomalous things, they kind of have to fill us in on, oh, yeah, well, either we know what it is or we don't know what it is.
Right. Right. And there's also, been those reports of weird stuff on Mars that they kind of airbrush out, right?
I don't know what's up with Mars, because we had some pretty good cameras on there, so it would have been way harder to airbrush that stuff out because it wouldn't have been a pitch black background, which, like on the moon, you kind of have that. So it was easier for them to just do large swaths of black, but you have like kind of like a misty greenish gray in all the Mars photographs, to where, I don't know, it makes it a little bit harder to see the anomalous stuff because it's not in black and white. But it kind of helps us, where it makes it way harder for them to airbrush it out. Like, unless they're doing it digitally, which I would imagine they're doing it now, it might make it a little bit easier.
Well, here's what I can say, folks. I can now even more proudly play this segment right here.
One who said you walked on the moon when you didn't. Calling a kettle black, if I ever thought of it. Saying I'm misrepresented. Away from me. You're a coward and a liar and a thief.
Got him. Now we need to give Sabrell
a
fucking pat on the back. Dude, because now Sabrell, we can say, like, okay, he was asking the right fucking question. He might have been a bit of a butthole about it, but that was after he was in his house. Like, Dave had words before. And
there's a line.
Sure that was like after he was in his house. Yeah, so like he went to his house, they had an interview, he got kicked out, and then this happened. And I guess they left all the niceties at the door there.
Yeah. Yeah, Buzz was done, man. He was done with Bart. And I get it. I like anything Buzz wanted to say on the topic, he said. And you can just leave it at that. I think these photos, if anything, right here, prove we did land on the motherfucking moon. We just flew around the moon.
I have to go back. I have to go back on that now, because I questioned that for a real long time, especially with how shitty a lot of the man, that first, I'm not even gonna lie, that first one still throws me off. Like the whole transmission back to and back from the fucking moon.
Well, here's the thing. I think that they had a contingency plan. Like, this needed to be a successful mission. And I think they had a contingency plan where if something terrible were to go wrong, they would still be able to sell it as a successful mission. And once it was a successful mission, they were like, look, that looks good enough too, So I do think that some of the stuff was doctored in one way, shape, or form. Some stuff was added, some stuff was taken away, some stuff was airbrushed over. But I'd also believe that we landed on the moon.
Yep. I have to now fucking believe that.
Yeah.
A little upsetting.
Yeah.
I don't like admitting when I was wrong.
It's upsetting.
But I will. I'll admit when I was wrong, but it's still sad.
Oh,
I
so
like
you
being
didn't
Mr.
believe
Right.
we had went there. You didn't believe we had been there.
Very fucking skeptical. Very skeptical.
And hey, when
Just
you
'cause
have a super confident guy like Bart Sabrell out there banging the drum, you know, it's hard not to listen to a guy that speaks with that level of confidence and passion, right?
Well, yeah, even Richard Hoagland said there was a lot of weird things, but he didn't say that we didn't go to the moon.
Right.
But like he just admitted that the first transmission that he was in the room for, because I believe he worked with NASA at the time getting that shit together, or maybe it might have been a bit later in time. But I know that he worked in NASA while they were doing the broadcast.
So I'm going to tell you where we are here. Okay. So this is why I gave you the information that this first file that we pulled and went over confirmed Roswell really happened, because the FBI in 1947 goes to investigate this other potential landing and interaction. And they take a soil sample from where the witnesses say the event occurred. They send that soil sample to Los Alamos Labs. And they say, does this match the same soil where the UFO crashed? Roswell happened. It's not a legend. It's not like part of the zeitgeist. It was an event that took place, and they managed to obfuscate and fuck with it for so many years. It happened. There's a crash that took place. And now I'm thinking probably recovered bodies. And that's bold for me. You know, because I don't normally go out on a limb like that. But seeing this stuff, wow.
It's
pretty incredible.
I just sent you an image of one from the Air Force, right? Directly refuting their own testimony from the Roswell crash. Remember how Project Mogul is what they claimed it was a big fucking balloon? Well, this is them saying that, oh, it wasn't a balloon. We do not have anything that even looks like that. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and it's funny because you can find that Project Mogul video, that propaganda video, and you know, the one with no sound and all that. But like, I just don't know how you could say a clear plastic balloon could be mistaken for a silver metallic UFO.
Oh, have you seen the full photograph of it being launched? Because I'll send it over to you now.
Yeah,
I can see why.
where they
where
they gas it up and it like floats up off the.
Yeah, but it has a UFO attached to it. There's a UFO attached to it though, like with thrusters and everything. Like I'll send it over.
Okay, yeah, let me see that one. Okay, what was this one called? I'm getting your image loaded up now so we can all take a look at it. Okay, here we go. Now this says confidential. Are you sure we can share it?
We could take a shot.
So if it's hard for you to read, it says 5th September 1947, Director, Federal Bureau of Investigation, Department of Justice, Washington, D.C. Dear Sir, attention, liaison section. In answer to a verbal request of your Mr. S.W. Reynolds, a complete survey of research activities discloses that the Army Air Force has no project with the characteristics similar to those which have been associated with the flying discs. Dated, is it General Shulgin, Brigadier General, United States Air Force Deputy Assistant Chief of Air Staff. So wasn't a weather balloon, and they test areas where they think people may have observed some type of landing or crash landing. They test that soil against soil that was collected from the crash in Roswell. A crash took place in Roswell, y'all, and we are one folder in. One. And why could we not tell the American people this? What was so dangerous about this information? Is the stock market plummeting? Let me check. I think it's doing okay. Yeah. So I don't know. Let's take a look. We're going to listen to some recently released NASA recording that was included with this file drop, and then some additional videos. And we're talking videos from North America, South America, the Middle East, Iraq, Iran. I mean, these things are getting caught all over the world. You know what? That was the wrong one. I apologize, y'all. So unprofessional.
So I sent you over the other one.
Oh, that's why you got all quiet.
I was rifling through my pictures and I couldn't find it. I have too many fucking screenshots in there. So I just looked it up and I found one real quick. I didn't find the one that I had, which was like 15 balloon-looking things attached to that weird saucer thing. But here's just one balloon attached to the saucer. And now, if you ask me, that looks like they were trying to build something to look like what the fuck they saw in Roswell. Like this was the cover story they were trying to like quickly build up, you know?
Are you talking about the wood one they found in the barn?
No. Do you see the photo? I just sent it to your ex. Not your ex-girlfriend, but your ex account. See it.
Okay. And what is that?
That's Project Mogul.
Interesting.
Right. So not saying that that's Roswell, but I'm saying that after Roswell happened, because they already said we don't have anything like this. And this is an interpersonal memo. So if they did have something like that, they would just been like, it's one of ours. Shut the fuck up. Don't mention it. You know, but since their complete refutation and then after the fact had to come out and go, oh, no, we totally do have stuff like that.
Right.
You see what I mean? Like the thing attached to the fucking balloon. Does that not look exactly like they're trying to fake a UFO for purposes of obscuring real UFOs?
Absolutely. Let me get the...
Because also remember the Roswell was a crash. You know what I mean? It wasn't just some fuck around thing that was floating around in the sky with a balloon. It was something that collided with another thing in the air, and then another thing collided with a windmill. Because it was in, what was it? I want to say Aztec, New Mexico, but it wasn't Aztec. It was, what's the name of it? It's right next to Roswell. Might have been Aztec.
Los Alamos?
Actually. No, it's like the town right next to it. Because Roswell was super small before the thing. So there was like it's just a really small town. So they just kind of lumped it into Roswell because Roswell was just a slight bit bigger.
Okay. So I'm looking for this file. Give me just a moment here. I will find you. So you said you've gone through turbo speed with all this stuff. While I'm looking this up, what's been one thing that's really surprised you so far?
Oh, just the volume of shit and nothing coming out, right? Like everyone's complaining that we didn't get a big old narrative pushed with this. That's going to come at some point. I like there's no narrative right now. I like that we just get to parse through shit and come up with our own ideas. Because every time we do get a narrative, everyone complains about it anyway.
Yeah, that's a good point. Fair point. Fair point. Now, do you have any thoughts on why, like, saucer phenomena has become orb phenomena?
Not exactly sure, but I do know that orbs were seen for a real long time. It's not anything new with the orb thing.
And they would say ball lightning sometimes, right?
Yeah, that was the most frequent one, and we'd get swamp gas and all the others.
Sorry, I'm having some technical difficulties here. But we are going to get this loaded. Or die trying.
Oh, happy Disclosure Christmas, by the way. I didn't get to say it to you yet.
Disclosure Christmas, is that what we're calling it?
Yeah, Red's in a space right now. He's got like 500 people in there.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of crazy over there. Everyone's going nuts. Everyone's celebrating. We're all doing our high fives, mostly because now the government can't fucking lie to us. They can lie to us, but now we'll be able to call them on their shit a little bit easier. We have to understand, like, okay, let's say half of this shit is bullshit. They have still now made the claim, so we can run with that claim, right? And now anytime they try to debunk us, we go, oh, you didn't know what it was 10 minutes ago. Now you know what it is. I'd like to troll them in that way, to where we just say it's fucking anything, and then when they finally make a refutation, we can go, aha, motherfucker, you did know what it was.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think they would put anything out that's going to cause any issues for themselves. So, like, some of the shit's crazy. Like, did you look at the star one? Now, I'm told,
yeah, that one's cool.
I'm told from folks in the chat that this is actually some kind of reflection. But it looks incredible. Like, I guess I don't know enough about visual engineering and technical information to understand what it is exactly I'm looking at, but that is absolutely crazy looking.
Looks like it has an exhaust plume though that's coming out of the bottom piece, right?
Yeah, that's what I said. But also the reason that it could be so, like, kind of perfectly round, and we could just be looking at some kind of internal component of the camera itself.
Okay, all right, I'm willing to accept that. It also looks like it right, like if you're looking at a missile from like directly behind it, which I don't know how you'd ever be able to get directly behind it to where you can't see anything else, but it does look like ailerons on a missile, right? Maybe,
like
but that'd have to be a fucking huge missile.
Ailerons? Is that what you said?
Ailerons. It's like the little flappy things on. You see them on planes, but it's also on the back of missiles. Like let's say you're not using thrust vectoring, you'd have like a straight propellant coming out the back, but you would use like the little flappy things on the back to direct where it's going to go.
I fucking always use thrust vectoring, buddy. That's why my wife loves me.
Oh, got him.
Thrust vector. That's actually my nickname, but only she's supposed to know it. Oh man, why could I not? That's when you need to go through and clear out your library, when you just have too many files, and half of them have the ass face Epstein's name in it in one way or another.
You're running into the same problems I am. Same problem I have right now.
I'm just disorganized right now.
Images I've got.
Right. Just disorganization. But but we will find it possibly. And this was just NASA. So it's one of the NASA audio files. And then also some additional videos that the Department of Defense released that were, I would say, higher quality. I mean, they don't include any data with them. They black all that stuff out. But I would say definitely
I noticed
higher quality.
Before you move to the next thing, like you know how it has like the pages 1 through 17, you got the individual files. If you click on the file and you know how it shows you like the little preview, it will have a description in there. Some of them don't, but some of them do. So I learned that's where you can get like a little bit of a idea from like what year it's taken, all that kind of stuff. Because you can see they blacked everything out that they needed to on the screen. You're not going to pick up any extra information from there, but you will sometimes get a description.
Interesting. Well, you're the resident hacker. Make it happen, buddy.
Oh my God, you don't even understand how hard it was.
For?
Like I was in
Flak,
Space,
Slack,
and I was.
Oh, you know what?
Man!
I don't
So remember
hear
last
your
night?
Excuses, okay? I don't.
No, this is not even an excuse. This is me shaming myself right now. Last night I said to you, I was like, "Oh man, I'm gonna stay up. I'm gonna fucking wait till these files drop. I'm gonna be on the shit." I forgot about it like an hour after that. Fucking totally forgot. And I was like straightening up. I was like, I gotta stay up for this, that, and the other. Like do the UFO thing. And then I go, oh, the UFO is like 7:30 right now. And I go and look, and everyone's already posted all the cool shit. Then Red has a space. Buddy. So now. Well, I slept yesterday, got some sleep yesterday, but today it's disclosure Christmas. I can't sleep now. I had to open the presents, dude. I had to open all the gifts. But so I jumped on it late and then ripped through everything.
Yeah, many a tired Christmas mornings, that's for sure.
You're like me trying to catch that Santa Claus bastard, huh?
I
laid booby traps around my whole house.
I literally had no patience to find out what I got. Like I would sometimes sneak open my presents and then like retape them closed because I just could not wait. I'm terrible.
I would have failed at that so bad. I only just like I'd say in my 20s learned how to wrap a gift properly. As a kid, I didn't give a shit. You know what I mean? So I would have like tore that open and then been like, oh, what am I gonna do now? Fucking panic.
All right, let's get some comments here. So Gray Owl, let's see. There's optical data in them vids released. So we'll probably have to do some hunting there to find that. Poker Dealer just says, fuck it, I make my own narratives. Many numerous X-ray cats engaging us materialize via what the consciousness of the of the observations interpret it to be, in my humble opinion. Crazy, man. That's the thing. Like when you really start analyzing what the fuck's going on, it can get weird, right? All of a sudden you're talking about like being in a matrix, and it's all the different possibilities of our reality are mind-blowing.
It is intriguing, dude. And the simple fact that we've now got like so many doors open as to like where we're allowed to speculate now. And I don't mean that in like, oh, the government can let us do this. It's where they have given up their cards. You know what I mean? Like something's got to give somewhere with this shit. And we'll get to it. Because you know how fucking pessimistic I am and how paranoid I am when it comes to just believing the government's bullshit. But when they do give you a bit of gold, fucking squander it, use it the best you damn can, because you're never going to get that again in your lifetime. We've seen a few of those now. So I feel like the government's shit, but at least we're getting somewhere with prying some information out of their cold dead hands, you know?
Absolutely. Now, everyone take a look at that star. Okay. And this is a little snippet from an old news story I ran earlier, but compare that star to the UFO that this officer draws in 1967.
Patrol car Delta 9 with PC Roger Willie and PC Clifford Waycott based at Oakhampton, were out on night duty patrolling the A3072, Hatherley to Holsworthy Road. Precisely 1 minute past 4 o'clock this morning, they sighted an object 400 yards away from them and at treetop level. They reported immediately to Oakhampton Police Station, where further men were brought out. PC Willie, you were driving the patrol car at the time. Can you describe it to us?
Well, the object was likened unto a cross, although the inner parts were something similar to the points of a compass, and they were quite blurred, the inner part of the cross.
But it was brilliant, brilliant white, brilliant light.
Okay, y'all saw that drawing, right? Now look at that. So how could they be seeing a lens refraction in 1967 with their own eyes? And you're right. I have no evidence that the two things are even related or even correlated. I'm just saying they look so similar. I'm going to say, boom, same thing. So if these cats are seeing something just like this in 1967, that makes it harder for me to believe that what we're looking at is just some mechanical error. Because if you see that with your naked eye, that's a lot different than seeing it through just a camera.
Yeah, I haven't even seen anything like that either. Like, that thing is fucking bonkers, brother.
Yeah.
And you can see, I don't know if you notice in like the upper left portion right above the crosshairs, it looks like there's something moving behind whatever clouds there are over there.
Yeah, and I guess Corbell already leaked this, apparently. I had no idea. I just got it off of
I just gave up on Corbell a while ago.
Yeah, I just, yeah. So, yeah, I just got this with the drop that literally just happened hours ago. And so I'm sure he probably has a little more in-depth analysis on it, but you know, I listen to these officers describe what they're seeing.
Did it make any kind of noise to you? No, there was no noise. The first time we saw it was when it was just above treetop height and ahead of us.
I mean, that's pretty damn close, right?
This is all we have for now, too. So I'm not going to damn you for making correlations or like noticing shit like that. That this is what we should be doing, and then lumping the things that are similar in, and then dissecting it even further. You know what I mean? There's got to be some scrutiny on the front end to where we could at least separate the stuff and put it into like nice, neat categories for further scrutiny. Because I don't know, man. This just opened up so many doors to where. Before this, it was just based upon your, I guess, patience with waiting to find out information or releases or you know what I mean? Like, but now that there is this, and
look at
now I can sit there and exhaustively, even when I'm bored with this shit, I have to go, oh no, I gotta fucking continue to look.
Wait till I make my AI reconstruct this. It's gonna be like, really, you bastard.
It's gonna be a Christmas tree angel, is what it is.
You know what it's gonna look like? It's probably gonna. Did y'all ever see what was that Tom Cruise movie, Oblivion? Remember the little scout drones that would fly around? They're like balls.
Oh yeah,
Oblivion. Yeah, that's gonna look like. It looks like one of the Oblivion scout balls. That's what it looks like.
How's my mic sound?
We know aliens have blue balls, so sound great, buddy. Sounds so sexy.
All right, sweet.
Okay, so while we wait for my NASA video to finally complete, we're going to take a short musical break, and I think y'all will like this one.
Oh no, he. No, he. No, he. No, he. no, he, no, he, look, the beauty of that piece actually was its ability to be both things.
Both things, buddy. Both things. The beauty of that piece is that this could be both things. It could be UFOs or just a studio, bruh. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm going UFOs. I'm hard in the paint now. I'm building a UFO now that I know that they're real. You know, even though, dude, I've seen this shit, so this is a bit of a joke. But dude, now I'm getting some plans. I'm getting mine off T-Boo. We'll see what the fuck goes down.
If you missed my first 5-10 minutes of the broadcast today, as I was going through that file, it was like, hold on. So there's this event that happens in 1947 where you think contact was made, and you think you've pinpointed exactly where the soil is where contact was made. So to prove it out, your baseline is your soil from Roswell in 1947. So what does that mean about Roswell in 1947? If you're using soil from that incident to figure out if other incidents are real or not, what does that tell us about Roswell? I mean, that was in the first FBI document I opened. So they've known it's real this whole time, including FBI members. How many people took that shit to their grave, thought they were doing the right thing? It's really disappointing. Okay, so here is some, I believe this is the right one. Here is some NASA audio, and then also some additional videos from the drop that took place today. Let's take a listen to these astronauts.
Gemini Control here again. Earlier in the flight, you'll recall at the start of the second revolution, we had a reference to several objects that the crew spotted. This was in the area of Antigua. Due to a mechanical breakdown, we did not have that portion of the tape available for you. This was a line breakdown between Building 30 and our news center in Building 6. Since then, we have dubbed a tape off the master tape here in the control center, and we are now prepared to play it for you. It contains references to sighting not only some particles, but as well as an unidentified object, plus the booster. Here's that tape. We'll play it for you now.
Hi, Gemini 7 here. You listen out of your 8?
Loud and clear. 7, go ahead.
Bogey at 10 o'clock high.
This is Houston. Say again, 7.
So we have a bogey at 10 o'clock high.
Roger. Gemini 7, is that the booster or is that an actual sighting?
What?
Say again, 7.
Okay, we have several, looks like the 3 up here, actual sighting.
We have several. There's 3 up here, outside.
You have any more information, estimated distance or size?
We also have the booster in sight.
Understand you also have the booster in sight, Roger.
So that means it can't be the booster.
We have very, very many, looks like hundreds of little particles going by from left out about 3 to 4 miles.
Understand you have many small particles going by on the left. At what distance?
Large, looks like perhaps a vehicle that's disintegrated.
Yeah, they're small particles. If you consider like the size of a Chevy Suburban, a small particle.
Roger, understand they're about 3 to 4 miles away.
They're past now. They're going to polar orbit.
Roger, and understand they were about 3 to 4 miles away.
Traffic cleared line. No further.
Roger. Gemini 7, Houston, were these particles in addition to the booster and the bogey at 10 o'clock high? Roger.
7, this is...
Yeah, in the 60s, you weren't supposed to have a bogey at 10 o'clock high when traveling in space. Just for frame of reference.
Houston, this is 7.
Go ahead.
I have the booster on my side as a brilliant body of the sun against a black background, and with billions of particles around it.
Roger, what direction is it from you?
It's about at my 2 o'clock position.
Does that mean it's ahead of you?
It's ahead of us at 2 o'clock, slowly doubling.
Roger.
But as well.
Okay, now are these astronauts just suffering from hysteria? Or are they seeing things that are totally natural?
Well, the weird thing is like, so Buzz claims to see like spots of light inside the craft, like inside the actual shuttle. But I'm only a little skeptical about that because I know that radiation travels right the fuck through that shuttle. No problem. Like the issue that you have in space is like when you close your eyelids, you see, it looks like stars coming at you, kind of like how the Star Wars intro is. You kind of see that because it's a X-ray particles passing through your fucking face. So I don't know. Maybe he is seeing a couple of things, but like they're actually seeing craft, which isn't that like a light particles passing through their cornea, you know?
Right. Yeah, and you can tell the mission controllers trying to play it down, little particles, and they're like, okay.
Roger.
7, this is Houston, this is 7.
Go ahead.
I have the booster on my side as a brilliant body of the sun against a black background, and with billions of particles around it.
Roger, what direction is it from you?
It's about at my 2 o'clock position.
Does that mean it's ahead of you?
It's ahead of us at 2 o'clock, slowly doubling.
Roger.
OS 91.
So they're just observing, I guess, at this point. Waiting to report something back or deciding what to report back so they don't sound crazy. I would imagine that's a part of it too. Don't tell them you're seeing a floating angel fish outside, dummy. They'll lock you up in psych when we get home.
We've got a runaway Christmas ornament To our left.
Did anybody ever watch Sesame Street? I'm pretty sure Snuffleupagus is out there.
Oh, Fox 91.
I think that's so funny too, because to me, the silence almost says more. Like they reported what they saw, and Control was like, "Oh, yeah, so you saw some particles outside," and they're like, "Yeah, that's what we saw."
Oh, Fox
And now they're
91.
and then they just go silent.
Second.
So I think that just about wraps.
Gemini
that
Control
up.
here again. The reference in that conversation to the third unidentified object, of course, the third object was bogey. There were several references to the bogey. This is the unidentified object, in addition to particles which appear to be headed in a polar orbit, you heard Frank Borman say, plus Jim Lovell discussing the booster. It was Borman who reported sighting the bogey. This is Gemini Control in Houston at 4 hours, 24 minutes into the flight.
I think I got it. You know what that is? That's the DeLorean from Back to the Future. Clearly, those are headlights, right? And we know the Back to the Future DeLorean being piloted by one Doc Brown in his senior age, all over the place, right? That's what we're getting. Gray Owl bring up a fantastic point, and it was like synchronicity. As we are observing whatever these things are, it's almost as if they're acting and reacting to what we're doing. Like they are aware that they're being watched. And then it makes you wonder what happens from there. Is it like showtime at the Apollo? Are they are they whipping out? Are they, pulling out all the stops? There's a couple other just strange videos. This one is not too long, but it's one of those higher def videos we heard these folks on the UAP task force talk about. Like they need to release the stuff where you can actually see things. And it's a very short video, I would imagine, because of classifications and whatnot, but it's pretty crystal clear, and you can definitely see an object there in the camera. I mean, you've got eyes on, you've got your system tracking, so it's putting out some type of frequency. Don't know what it is, but something that sensor is able to pick up on. Could just be movement, might be heat related, might be radio frequency related, who knows, but the sensor's picking up on it. And so is the pilot. Or it could be co-pilot, depending on what kind of aircraft that they're using at the time. This is another very strange one. Now, you may have seen them use parts of this during, I think it was the Aero conference. But this took place, and they had a lot of weird situations like this over in Iraq, especially around black sites. But you can see very clearly they kind of changed the thermal scope. Here, let me play it again because it happens pretty fast. But you see that green line kind of represents the trajectory. Boom. Do you see that? So I'm off. It's actually in the top right. So the green line, maybe they were measuring something there. But if you look in the top right, did y'all see that? Try to slow it down. Boom, right there. Right there. Yeah, what is that little guy doing? I mean, that's at a speed that's like so fast. You couldn't even see it with your naked eye. Pretty unbelievable. And then the Iraqi, videos, they notoriously had the jellyfish video, which was just creepy as all get out. I mean, if you all remember that jellyfish video, it gave me the heebie-jeebies. I mean, I didn't know if it was like I was looking at something from, what's that show where they go to the future and they all get lost? Danger, Will Robinson. That's what that shit reminded me of. Now, Flak should be back momentarily, but I do want to share the picture he was referring to. So this was apparently a program that the Air Force generated after Roswell. And oh my, why do you think they would want to make it look like a balloon's carrying a disc? So in the limited time I've had with these files and the time that you all have spent with me going through this stuff, because this is all brand new. As soon as I was able to download some of these files and make a couple of videos of these videos, download the videos and string them together, I was on the air with it. And so you're seeing this isn't a planned narrative. I'm just speaking from the heart and from my own research. And from the stuff that we read earlier, and now we see the Air Force trying to make it look like they lifted discs up in the air after Roswell, I feel extremely confident in saying Roswell was real. I don't know exactly what we caught. I don't know exactly what we have, what we did with it. I'm not going to pretend to know any of that. But just based on our own FBI's investigation and the images that we see, like this one, I do believe it is no longer a conspiracy theory to say we recovered a craft at Roswell. I think at this point, that's a conspiracy fact. And you can very easily make that judgment. Hey, and I have been wrong before. Trust me. My wife reminds me all the time of how wrong I am. So if I'm wrong with this, if you all have clues that I'm not picking up on, or there's already an explanation for that, you dummy, just tell me. You aren't going to hurt my feelings. And I hate to beat a horse to death, but if you take a soil sample from what might be an alleged site, and what legitimizes it is comparing it to the soil at Roswell, that means you had something at Roswell. Period. All right, so we're going on with this first FBI file here. So it looks like we're all, and this is all happening within days of each other. You know, I mean, the last one was dated July 21st. There's another one dated August 8th. This one's dated August 11th. The War Department has furnished the Bureau with the following telegram dated July 5 at New York, New York. For future details concerning flying discs, suggest immediate contact of Mr. Richard F. Shaver, Lily Lake, Illinois, who may have important information concerning their origin. What? So I guess what that means is that whoever wrote this report, who is this? Enclosure, RGF, MAE, Director, FBI, recorded, the War Department. Is this the director of the FBI? Director of FBI, on August 11th, 1947, says, it is therefore desired that the Chicago Field Division conduct appropriate inquiries regarding Shaver, and in the event such inquiries do not reveal information indicating he should not be interviewed, he should be interrogated for any information he might have relative to flying discs. It is desired this matter be handled as soon as possible, and the Bureau promptly advised. It is desired. So basically, put this shit to bed. Let's put an end to this. No more discussions about this topic, period. That is quite fascinating. What up, Flak? Glad to see you back, buddy.
Oh, sorry about that.
You're
Apologies.
good. Life happens at the speed of life, right? So we're going over more FBI files here, and I think you'll find this one a little interesting. This is from the director of the FBI, August 11th, 1947. He says, For further details concerning flying discs, suggest immediate contact of Mr. Richard F. Shaver, Lily Lake, Illinois, who may have important information concerning their origin. Who is Richard F. Shaver, Lily Lake, Illinois?
Let's give him a call. I have 1975 phone book in my house. See how it works.
I'll do you one better. Let's look him up on the GPTs. Maybe we can get ourselves a GPT award. Here we go. Okay. What did I say his name was?
Schaefer, I believe.
Shaver. Richard F. Shaver. Okay, here we go. Richard Sharp Shaver was a controversial figure in early UFO and paranormal lore. He became famous in the 1940s through what became known as the Shaver Mystery, published in the pulp magazine Amazing Stories. Shaver claimed he had discovered an ancient underground civilization populated by beings called the Deros, detrimental robots, I guess is what that stood for, and Teros. According to his stories, these entities lived beneath the earth in vast cavern systems and used advanced technology, including ray machines and flying craft, to manipulate and torment humanity. What makes Shaver important to UFO history is that many researchers consider his work on the earliest foundations of modern UFO mythology. Years before the 47 flying saucer wave began, Shaver was already describing disc-shaped craft, underground alien bases, ancient advanced civilizations, mind control technology, and hidden beings influencing humanity. After pilot Kenneth Arnold reported seeing strange objects near Mount Rainier in 47, Palmer argued that Arnold's sighting validated Shaver's claims about subterranean craft and hidden civilizations. So there's a little history lesson for you and the rest of y'all hanging out. And probably we have pretty smart people that watch our show. So they're probably like, thank God Gabe's finally catching up. But it's pretty fascinating, right? Before 47.
Yeah, that's pretty damn cool.
This guy's like talking about underground alien bases.
It's like the early Phil Schneider.
Yeah. And then you think about Roswell happened in 47, and good friend of the show, Luis Cayetano, pointed out they didn't start talking about Roswell until the 80s. So they had done a pretty good job of keeping a muzzle on it for a good 20, 30 years before a couple of authors started to talk about it. So here's this guy. The FBI director says, hey, go talk to this guy who is writing about this shit before Roswell. And again, this entire packet so far, FBI packet, points to Roswell being real. I mean, the only thing it hasn't said is we now have a craft with alien bodies. That's about all it hasn't said. Let's see here. So we got a telegram. Now this is 16 July 47. Let's see here. If anything important is here. They're asking for a report on flying saucers, which were observed by 4 witnesses while in flight in 2 airplanes over southern Wisconsin. And they have map with indications as to proximity of the location where the flying saucers were reported to have been seen in relation to Lily Lake, Illinois. In view of the fact the observation of the flying saucer was made corresponds closely with the date of the unsigned telegram, and considering the proximity of Lily Lake to the points there the objects were observed, it is required that Mr. Shaver investigate to determine whether or not he has information pertaining to the origin of flying saucers. They wanted this guy to tell them where flying saucers came from. Have you ever heard the name Shaver in ufology? I have.
No, I don't think so. I'm trying to think. I don't think so. I have, because during that time it would have been like Phil Corso,
who they told us was involved, right?
Yeah, and also
it sounds like this guy really
paper.
was involved. Yeah. Sorry to talk over you there, buddy, but it's amazing that the people that it appears were really involved, they're not out there on the circuit writing books. They're doing work. I digress. For further details concerning flying discs, suggest immediate contact of Mr. Richard F. Shaver, Lily Lake, Illinois. So again, says it there. Let's see, the 7 July 47 report on flying saucers to the commanding general of Air Force Base Unit, Bowling Field, Washington, D.C. And looks like they're going to provide with him statistics on UFO encounters. And I'm definitely not going to read this because this will bore people to shit. But I would say, just by giving it a quick glance over, the message they were probably conveying here is that this is a thing. Maybe we don't know what the thing is, but this is a thing. Let's see here. We've got a gigantic world aeronautical chart, which is kind of interesting. And why would the FBI... Oh, here we go. Because Lily Lake, because a lot of this activity apparently is happening around Lily Lake. Makes you wonder what those arrows and X's are, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, I like this one because it's weird.
Yeah, this is the real shit right here, buddy.
I hated that I had to look at that on my phone because I would have loved to print that out as like a full wall-sized thing.
Yeah, I can send you the full file. Take that fucker down to Kinko's.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. That would be awesome, dude.
Here's another one. Now, what sucks is that there's no... Oh, I guess there's sort of a legend on this one. But, they're looking at the topographical state of different continents. That is why. Why are they looking at the topographical and soil composition of all of the continents in the world? And why is it in the middle of a UFO report? Steve's here. He's a fucking smart guy. What's up, buddy? Help us out. Why are we seeing... I mean, this is the first FBI... I don't know when you joined us, but this is the first FBI report I pulled off of the release today. And we're just going through it. Just taking a look. And I swear to God, by page 5, I've already confirmed Roswell happened. And I don't even know what page I'm on now, but now we're looking at topographical... I mean, that's what that is, right? Topographical information. They're looking at depths and soil types of the entire planet. Not just like America or Ohio or New Mexico. Everywhere.
The global aeronautical map, right?
Right. In the middle of an FBI report about UFOs. Okay.
I'm sending you something over on your X now, too. This is just like it's from Saybrook, Illinois. It's it's weird because it looks like a very small saucer because it's got a ruler right next to it. And it also has Russia written on it, which I don't know what the point of this thing is. It's just kind of funny to me.
Yeah, there's that too, right? Because I'm sure some of it was added as a distraction, as obfuscation, maybe even as just an inside joke. That was the thing. Like Eric Hecker, right? When he would go to his base in Antarctica, if you look at some of the pictures he has, like they would have certain areas in the background where there would be all this UFO lore shit, almost like tipping their hat. Like, yes, this is a thing here. It's just so interesting getting to peek behind the curtain a little bit. And also I love seeing the word Portland anywhere because that's my hometown. Let's see here. Director FBI urgent. Now this is August 6, 1947. Flying discs. I don't know SMX is, but Rattel Portland to director, San Francisco and Seattle, August 5 last. Boy, the way they used to talk was kind of classy, wasn't it? August 5 last. Intelligence officers, McCord Field, WN advised that in their opinion and from their investigation, there is no question of the crash of the B-25 at Kelso, Wisconsin. Approximately 2:50 a.m., August 1, last having been caused by any sabotage. They state their investigation indicates the left engine burned out an exhaust stack which caused the wing to burn and break off. The left wing, as it redacted, broke off, tore off the tail, and the plane crashed into the ground, killing Captain Davidson and Lieutenant Brown. Intelligence officers of the 4th Air Force who were returning from McCord Field, Wisconsin to Hamilton Field, California, the crew chief and hitchhiker parachuted to safety from the plane. Only 4 members were aboard the plane, Davidson and Brown being pilot and co-pilot, and had no chance to escape when the wing broke off. Lieutenant Colonel Donald L. Springer, a 2-blank officer for the 4th Air Force, Hamilton Field, California, advised, can't read that, and Brown were sent from Hamilton Field to interview Harold Dahl and Fred Krisman at Tacoma. Maybe WN is wing. I don't know. Regarding their report of seeing some flying discs over Maury Island, wing or Wisconsin, I don't know, and that they obtained some of the disc fragments. Krisman and Dahl are partners in a lumber business in Tacoma, Washington. Wow. That's in my neck of the woods, buddy.
Whoa!
Okay.
You could do some on the ground investigating for that one if you get a bit of time.
I wouldn't mind a little drive up to Washington. That might be fun. So Steve says they died due to a hoax. So expand on that a little bit, buddy. What happened? So from this report, it sounds like they're saying they saw something that caused an accident with their plane and people died. And are you thinking maybe that portion of it they're being a little dishonest about because they don't want to fess up to their responsibilities, or what's your thought there? I wonder. Let us know. We'll move on to the next one here. August 12, it is noted from interrogation of Emil Smith. Smith claims that during the conference on July 31, that Dahl and Chrisman apparently repeated their false story about the material being fragments of a flying disc, and only on Saturday night, August 2nd, did Dahl admit that the story was a hoax. Uh-oh. If such is the case, it would appear either Smith or Arnold made the anonymous phone calls, and since they would have been under the impression at that time that the material furnished to Captain Davidson and Lieutenant Brown was actually parts of a flying disc. It would also appear that Dahl and Chrisman did not admit the hoax to the Army intelligence officers, because if they had done so, the officers probably would not have taken the alleged fragments with them on their fatal flight. This matter should be cleared up upon re-interview with Dahl and Chrisman. When this point is clarified, no further investigation necessary. And then we have a really poorly written. I don't know what this is. Is this maybe one of their adjusted statements or something?
It's like a fever dream a bit there.
Dear Louise, I was wondering whether the rockets in which the young students are pending mail of messages from California to Arizona would have my connection with the so-called flying saucers. And then there's just too much scribble there. Mrs. something. I don't know. That's frustrating. Like, why, come on, FBI. There's some other places you could have stamped that where it's not over. Like, this is a bold underlined point they're trying to make, and they're like, stamp. Okay. Now we're August 1st, 47. Mr. Arthur Douglas Anderson. This will acknowledge receipt of your letter dated July 4th, 47. After careful review of the contents of this letter, it was ascertained that the information contained therein would probably be of interest to the War Department. Therefore, I have taken the liberty of furnishing this information to the agency. Your interest in writing, as you did indeed, appreciated. Sincerely, yours, J. Edgar Hoover. Who's J. Edgar Hoover?
He's intelligence. Fucking. Actually, Hoover was the fucking president. Actually, he was the one who supposedly met with the ones in the lawn, right?
Right.
Secret skiff or some shit like that.
I don't know. I heard he was like one of the first transgender people, but I went to public school, so I don't know. Okay, now C says their lumber business, quote unquote, was just the two of them scavenging old floating logs, by the way, illegally. Well, I will say, being from the backwoods of Oregon, there are legal ways to scavenge for logs. And the plane crash happened due to technical malfunction. But they never would have even been flying there had the two men, mainly Chrisman, had not perpetrated the hoax. That's why I love Steve, man. Like, if somebody's bullshitting, he'll let you know. Steve's down. Steve's good people. Okay, and Steve kind of called that before we even got there, right? All right, so this was, even though it was a hoax, for whatever reason, the FBI files it away. And once again, overclassifies something that probably could have been printed in the Inquirer, right? Because if it's not real, it doesn't fucking matter. Why are you classifying it? All you're doing is making people like you and I fucking crazy, right? Because we want to see what the fuck the picture is. Also, 1947, we can cut them a little slack. They're still working out how exactly to investigate these kinds of things as well.
You said this is Illinois 47?
1947.
Yeah. All right. So go check your DMs. There's two posts I sent there, but the second one is fixed because I was trying to get it done so quick in order to send it over to your ass.
Yeah.
That I kind of messed up on the first one. So I had to delete it and redo it again. But it's the second one that I sent you. And I think this might be the photograph accompanying this report, if it's Illinois in 47.
Well, let's take a look, shall we? Okay, so that is called... Here we go. Once again, this thing reminds me of one of those balls from Oblivion. Like, so what are we looking at?
This thing is weird. It reminds me of that Rene Cousinet one, just because it has it looks like a thruster on the side of it. And it's got, I don't know, this thing is very strange. It's got Russia written on it.
Okay.
You know,
Now hold on. Before we proceed, I want to let you know that I planted an Easter egg in one of our backgrounds, and you never noticed it once. And I used the background in at least 4 or 5 of our episodes.
oh, damn it. Well, all right, which one is it?
You want to see
Now
it?
you got to, yeah, let's go. I'll try and I'll do a
So this was the background. See any Easter eggs in there? I'm too good, y'all. I'm just that talented. It's so obvious, too.
Oh, is it the thing on the side right above your
Yes!
profile picture?
That's
yeah,
the
okay,
Renee
I see it now.
Cousinet UFO design.
Hell yeah, buddy. Oh, that's awesome. That's
I had it up there
awesome.
forever,
Okay,
man. I was just waiting for you to figure it out.
I would have never figured, because it's like, it's well done, dude. That shit is nicely hidden in there. Oh, that's cool. I love it.
It's a good time.
That
It's
is
always a
very
good
fucking
time.
cool. Oh, so cool.
Okay, so this thing, what am I looking at? It says flying disc found Saybrook, Illinois, July 26, 1947. Does it say Russia on it?
Yep.
Okay, so give me some more context. Give the crowd some more context. Like, what are we looking at?
Don't know exactly what the context is. It's a wacky flying disc, and that's all we get for now. Because
Okay.
as you're seeing, like you get things sort of. You get it kind of what's laid out in front of you. They don't really tell us what the fuck anything is.
Yeah. Yeah, right? Now, Valiant
I found
Thor,
that cipher.
thank you for
I'm gonna
joining
send you
us.
that. I'm going to send you that cipher now.
Do it.
'cause
Send
I
it to
found
me, but send it to me in English. I'm not good at that shit.
Oh, it's already done. We didn't even have to do any work for this one.
Sweet. So I just wanted to give a shout out, Valiant Thor. The PFP you're using is the craft I had my very first experience with. Kind of drove me into thirsting for more knowledge in all of this. And at first I did think it was a UFO, but then after a lot of study and research and reading, I started thinking, oh, it was probably a Raytheon craft, but still impressive. So he says, Valiant Thor says, I guess the only thing left for ETs to reveal themselves. Then every single piece of toilet paper on the planet will be gone. Why the fuck was that? Why is it like the world's ending? Everybody get toilet paper at once. Was there like a shit problem I wasn't aware of? Or just like, that's one of those things you just don't want to be out of?
Yeah, I think that's it. I think it's number 2 because that's what happened with COVID. Not a single thing said you're going to shit yourself to death, but everyone went and bought all the toilet paper.
Because see, I was
strange,
buying like
dude.
rice and beans and shit, you know, and then I get to the toilet paper aisle and be like, huh? Why is all the toilet paper gone? But I'm more concerned about making sure everybody can survive and eat than I am about wiping their ass after they shit. I don't know. Maybe I'm just gross.
There's always the option to shower, dude. There's always, like, that's the funny thing. Like, everyone's doing that. I was like, hop in
You're
the
not gonna
fucking
need-
shower. Worst come to worst.
You're not going to need toilet paper if you have nothing to shit. I rest my case.
Oh, touche.
Okay. So you don't know what this is, but you found it in the file drop that came out today, and it has the word Russia on it. How big? Whoa, we've got a freaking ruler right there. Let me see. So it's what, about 16 to 18 inches?
Yeah, it's
That's
a little
small. That's tiny. And why would Russia put their name on it? That's fucking stupid.
Yep, in English. They could have put it
In
in those
English.
fancy, funny
Put
letters.
it in
you know what I
Russia
mean?
in English. Okay, so I think what we're doing here is we're confirming what Steve was saying, is that it was a fucking hoax. It was bullshit. If this is tied into that same story. Okay. Oh, lost my balance a little bit. Okay, so let me pull this one back up. This is the actual report again. Security Division, FBI Internal Security Section. Looks like just some standard paperwork. Do you have any comments to make regarding attached before it is acknowledged? Don't see any comments.
I
Flak.
sent you the other one too. There you go. That's the one.
Oh, Flak. You love this shit, don't you?
Oh, this is my favorite thing ever. You actually inspired me to go watch now. Fucking, what's it called?
Zodiac?
No, what was the? Oh, I love Zodiac. It's a good movie. What was the other one? Good Will Hunting. There you go.
Ah, it's a great film. Great film. Okay. So it looks like someone actually deciphered it for him, or he deciphered it, but the message was tired of human nonsense, won't await atomic war, disrupting order, solar system, so sent flying discs, and will set up world under Martians late this year. Well, I guess that didn't work out, did it?
Yeah, they did it and they did it too well. That thing is strange. There's let me actually. Did I send you the back of it?
Hold on.
Oh, was that the one that was actually?
No, this is from the FBI file.
I just sent you.
I see what you just sent
That's
me.
awesome.
Yeah, this is from the actual file itself. County irritant calling for decoders. Belmar. About 9 at night on July 4th, I received the following shortwave message in code. Origin unknown. I kept listening, and about an hour later, the message was reported letter for letter. I can't figure out what it means, but here it is. Ditter for Numa Sosin Tuan. Okay, I'm not going to repeat it because I'll end up casting a spell on myself or something, but a bunch of gobbledygook, it looks like. Pattern which other night do well to copy. What a terror. It's like half cut off. How are you supposed to read that? Okay, what do we got here? July 21st, 1947. Mrs. A.C. Sarbanes. Dear Mrs. Sarbanes, I wish to acknowledge receipt of your letter and enclosure dated July 10, 1947. I have instructed a special agent in charge of our New York office to have a special agent call upon you for the purpose of obtaining further information in connection with this matter. Your interest in calling this information to my attention is indeed appreciated. J. Edgar Hoover. Yeah, which basically means fuck off. There is no identifiable information on file of the Bureau concerning the writer of this letter. The decoding of the message on the newspaper clipping was referred to the laboratory, who subsequently advised that the writer's decoding was substantially correct. There is being set forth below the results of the laboratory's decodings. Tired of human nonsense, won't await atomic war, disrupting order solar system, so sent flying discs, and will set up world order under Martian law late this year. So just J. Edgar kind of signing off on that. Yep, that was correct. Let's see. The director advised.
That's cool. Because I was rushing through these things so quickly to try and just get to the end. I was like, let me see if I can race to the end.
I'm going slow, buddy.
Yeah, that's the smart thing. Because I totally fucking missed that one.
They dumped 17 pages of shit on us. You know? Like, so guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to start with the first FBI file. And we're going to work through it. And I'm so glad there's people here. Like, this isn't a huge crowd that's in here, but the crowd that's in here is the crowd that cares about the details. And I fucking love that. Right? Because I'm not going to summarize it for you and paint a sexy picture out of it and all this and that. I'm just going to tell you what's on there. And we're going to talk about it. And the realest motherfucker I know pretty much is Flak and Eric Mitchell. But Eric Mitchell's got better shit to do than to sit here and read this nonsense. Okay.
You,
the article carried a Washington Dateline opinion with might be the same new form of defense. Whoa, hold on. Wait, just a tick here. 9 11 Truth. 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 9 11 Los Angeles papers were carrying headlines indicating that Soviet espionage agents had been instructed to determine the facts relative to the flying discs. The article carried a Washington date line and indicated that red espionage agents had been ordered to solve the question of the flying discs. The Russians, being of the opinion that this might be some new form of defense preferred by the American military. The article further recalled that during the recent war, pieces of tinfoil have been dropped in the air for the purpose of offsetting the value of radar being used by the enemy forces, and that these aluminum discs might be a new development along this line. The director inquired as to whether the Bureau had any such information. I informed him that I had never heard of any information indicating that Soviet espionage agents had instructed to obtain such information. A check with the officials at O2, ONI, and at the Air Corps intelligence was made, and it was found that they had no information relative to such a story. Bullshit. Yes, we were absolutely dropping shit in the air to fuck up their radar. Give me a break. Give me a break. That's 100% what they were doing. I mean, that's like standard operating procedure. They had, it's the 40s and 50s. They had
Was it called like
radar,
Chase, I believe.
Yeah. You could fuck up radar with like a radio frequency and shit. Like it was so easy to mess with radar. And yeah, dumping a bunch of aluminum foil in the air is going to mess up all these signals. This isn't like the technology they have today. So you could disrupt it with leaves. So the fact that those somehow, these deployments of these little foil discs become UFOs makes you wonder, is that the Foo Fighters that they would talk about? Now, I don't think so, because I think the Foo Fighters were like a big, bright light, weren't they?
Oh, yeah, I thought you were talking about Dave Grohl's band.
Is someone getting the best of you, Flak?
Yeah, now I'm just having a good time today. Today is UFO Christmas disclosure day.
It's UFO Christmas. It's Friday. What more could you ask for, right? Steve says he's going to make us famous. Steve, just go to Flak Magnets, buy me a Supra. And
oh, please,
he's
help
taking
me.
donations.
The space wizards are putting the hex on me. Give me a
Dude,
dollar.
he will take a donation as low as $10,000 right now. That's how hard up Flak is. Okay. Office Memorandum, United States Government. Reference is made to your telephone conversation with the director of Wednesday of last week, at which time the director advised that Los Angeles papers carried under a Washington dateline an article indicating the Soviet espionage agents in the United. Okay, so they're going on about the Soviets again. So I think what they're establishing with these memorandums is that, yes, obviously the Soviets were trying to figure out what we knew about flying discs, and that's not really shocking, right?
Not really.
We'd be doing the same thing.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know. I that thing was so funny. I can't get over that fucking thing that said Russia on it, where it looks like it was written in like whiteout. You know, not even the cool whiteout,
right?
Pen, but like the little whiteout brush
in English.
Yeah, it's so weird. I hope that didn't trick our government. They're like, look, it's the Russians.
No,
Some
well, you can
like
see from the
science project.
Yeah, no, you can see from the documents they weren't buying it. They called it a hoax a few times. Flying discs are attached 2 copies of a blind memorandum setting forth the facts relative to the reported air crash of the 2 AAF officers investigating flying disc complaints. It is recommended that a copy of this memorandum be furnished by the liaison section to the Air Force Intelligence. Okay. SAC Portland. Whoop. Flying disc. Security matter X. Ooh, dude. That's, you know what? I think we're going to start a band name and call it Security Matter X. It's fucking sick.
Yeah, like I'm in. If you need a triangulist, I'm down.
So fucking badass, dude. Security Matter X. Okay, the following investigation was conducted at Canyonville and Myrtle Creek, Oregon. Oh my fucking... Okay, y'all, let me explain something to you without trying to dox myself. I could take a very short ride in my car and be in both of these places. Like, how crazy is that synchronicity? Ray Virgil Hatfield, Route 1, Box 195, Roseburg, Oregon, operator of the Tri-City Airport, Myrtle Creek, Oregon, advised that on 1947, at approximately 6:15 at night, while instructing a student in a takeoff at the airport, he noticed an object east of Myrtle Creek, which appeared to be from 5,000 to 8,000 feet in the air. The sky was completely clear and visibility was excellent. He stated that the object glistened and appeared to be aluminum sheeting. Upon noticing that he had immediately taken over the controls of the plane, which he at the time was at 400 feet, and proceeded east in an attempt to further observe the object. He advised that the object appeared to be climbing and traveling east and at a high rate of speed, which he estimated on a computer in his plane as 1,000 miles per hour, 1947. He believed the object to be spherical in shape and recalled noticing a darker object to the right the first time he saw it. He observed no vapor trails, nor did he hear any noise from the object. After searching the area for the approximately 10 minutes, Hatfield and his student, Noble Ellison, but people don't name their kids Noble anymore, do they? It's a good name.
It's a good name, but you kind of got to be noble. You know, it kind of sets you up for failure if you suck, you know?
Yeah. Like, what if you're you have the worst character in the world, but your name is Noble? That's not good. Noble Harrison returned to the airport and made another landing and takeoff. So I guess it didn't scare him that much. And practically the same position at 400 feet altitude, both Ellison and Hatfield saw the object in approximately the same position as seen before. He estimated the sphere to be 30 feet in diameter and stated when they first observed it, it appeared to be so near he could fly right to it. However, the object sighted the second time disappeared in the same manner as the first had. It is noted that Hatfield served as Lieutenant JG in the U.S. Naval Air Corps for about 3.5 years, flying constantly on the Atlantic Submarine Patrol. He is a reputable citizen in Douglas County and is reported to be a qualified pilot. Mr. Noble Ellison, Myrtle Creek, Oregon, verified the above information is furnished, yada, 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 yada. Wow. So 1947, these guys are in Southern Oregon. Whoop-de-whoop. And they witness while they're flying another aircraft go by them. And by using his internal equipment, determined that craft flew by them at 1,000 miles per hour. How many aircraft went 1,000 miles per hour in 1947?
I can't think of any.
The ox
cart. The ox cart was when? I know that went pretty quick.
It's like 60s, wasn't it?
Okay, maybe. Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, that's if that's even close to being correct. You can't explain that away. You can't explain that away. And I think the problem is, it's like, well, people say, well, then what are you saying? It's aliens? Well, no. I don't know if it's aliens. But I think we have to acknowledge we don't have an explanation for it right now. We just don't. Wild stuff, man. So that, 1947, I would imagine these files, as time progresses, just get more and more.
Oh, my phone's about to
crazy.
die. I'll be right back in about 5 minutes, Gabe.
All right, buddy. We'll see you in a few minutes. I'm actually going to play you all. This is from the UAP archives. We're going to watch this for a few minutes while I take a slight break, and I'll be right back. I hope y'all enjoy this. This is right from the UAP archives. Tried to improve the quality as much as I could. But listen to what these people are saying, like trying to communicate with aliens and stuff. It's really interesting.
They call them flying saucers, sometimes UFOs. Is there such a thing as an unidentified flying object? Some say yes, some no. Some are even willing to look for them at dusk on a lonely stretch of beach near Waukegan. They come here to commune with outer space.
Start the message now, group. Here we go. We are your friends. We are your friends. Please contact us. Please contact us. Please contact us.
Man has always viewed the heavens with awe. When he was young, the moon, the sun, the planets, and the galaxies beyond made man blink in wonder. He believed the moon caused madness. An eclipse of the sun could bring him to his knees and freeze him with terror. A comet foretold the death of kings. But man has grown older and wiser and lives in an age of reason. He lives in an orderly universe, and he has learned to fly through space. Yet even now, as he looks up from Earth, there are things in the heavens that puzzle him.
We jumped out of the car and stood by the side of the road just as this thing passed over our heads, barely above the treetops.
It was hovering over the house and it was moving side to side directly over this house.
And as far as what it was, I wouldn't have the slightest idea. It's not the slightest idea.
For nearly 20 years, we've argued. For nearly 20 years, we've wondered. Have we been watching a fantasy, a legend, a myth? Or is something up there watching us?
We are your friends. Please contact us. We are your friends. Please contact us. We are your friends.
Elk Grove Village, northwest of Chicago. Mrs. Susan Crowley recalls a night she'll never forget.
It was about midnight on February 8th of 1965, and I was driving down Harmony Lane, which is the street on which we live, and I noticed a very strange object in the sky, and I drove down the street and pulled in the driveway, and I jumped out of the car, and I ran around the side of the house, and it was hovering over the house, and it was moving side to side directly over this house. I was so stunned, and I ran back around the house again, and I came in the front door to wake up my husband so I could show him. And I ran through the house, and I looked out the dining room windows, and the object was gone. And I ran in, and I got my husband out of bed, and I brought him out, and we stood here and looked for about a half an hour, and the police came out, and they took a report, but they had no further reports of any such object. I've gone and saw this many times since I saw it, and...
Your friend. Please.
Okay. Steve, I see you mentioned the different parallax views and how the pilots can be susceptible to them. Now we were watching, I wanted to pick your brain on this because I had this video going earlier, and I'm sure you've seen it. This seems to be the one that people are really losing their minds over. I'm not going to lie, I'm losing my mind a little bit over it. It's a very compelling video. And some folks in the chat have said it's a parallax thing. It's an issue with the camera. And I just, is that the case? I mean, because this thing, it's it's moving all around. It seems like it's leaving a little trail behind it. And I guess that's possible with an optical illusion. We could just be looking at some internal component of a camera. But I guess it's a two-parter question for you. One, could that just be some weird error, parallax view and reflection in the camera? And then two, if that's the case, do they file it under the UFO files because they don't know that at the time to mislead people? Or they, I'm just trying to understand, why does it get filed away with the unexplained UAP stuff? So they must not have been aware that could happen back then, possibly. I'm not sure, but think on that. Let me know what you think, because that's kind of what comes to my mind with this particular video, which is just, it's incredibly compelling. I don't know what we're looking at, but it's moving all over the place. It does seem to be leaving some kind of a trail behind it as it moves. And it must be generating some kind of heat or light in this FLIR setting on the camera, the way it kind of glows around the edges. So I don't know. It's very strange. Very strange. So Steve, if you have any good ideas on that one, please let me know. Okay, let's go back to the weirdos communicating with aliens.
Went up about 20 feet. It tilted at 45 degrees, straight south, and shot off. And within 2 or 3 seconds, it was out of sight. Well, there I stood in the driveway with a handful of greasy pancakes, my mouth open, wondering what the heck I saw, what had happened.
It is outside the realm of the Air Force to pass judgment on Mr. Simons' case. However, the pancakes that he turned over to the Air Force were turned over to the Food and Drug people, and they were analyzed as pure buckwheat pancakes.
Many UFO cases end with investigation. This is Dearborn Observatory, Northwestern University, a place where man can explore the depths of the universe. Dr. J. Allen Hynek, chairman of the Department of Astronomy, a UFO investigator for the Air Force for the past 18 years. A sighting has been reported northwest of Chicago on April 15th at 7:30 in the evening. A number of people spoke of a strange light in the sky. Mrs. Victor Baumgart was traveling by car near her home. She described something with headlights that crossed the road and hovered over a field.
There was not one sound. I listened. I spent a lot of time, of the time I was watching it, listening. There was not a sound. In the second place, I have never seen an exhaust coming out of a jet that was colored this beautiful, brilliant white. There was not one hint of yellow in the exhaust at all. In the next place, hovering over something. I knew it was something I had never seen before.
Now, how did it differ from a bolide or a fireball, a very, very bright meteor?
Have you ever seen a meteor with headlights?
No, I've never seen a meteor with headlights. But one might see a meteor that looked like it had headlights.
Well,
however,
I do not drink, and this had some kind of light on the back.
all right, good, fine. Now, but have you ever seen a real bolide?
Oh, I've seen them up high in the sky. I've never seen one close, no. Also, may I ask one question on a meteor? Don't you think it would be kind of unusual for a meteor to just fall across the road and hover over there a minute and then drop to the ground?
The coming over wouldn't be bad. The hovering that would bother me. This is why I wanted to know just how long it hovered.
Yes, well, it hovered too long to be a meteor. Excuse me for saying this.
No, all right. This is what I want to find out. What do you think it was?
I honestly was never a real believer in flying saucers. I believe if an intelligent person says that he has seen something and he has not been drinking and he's not out of his mind, that we ought to stop and listen.
A few miles to the southwest, another sighting of the same UFO. the Charles Welch family had been driving toward Barrington.
There was a ball of light with, which in the mind of a blowtorch with a greenish-blue tail to it. There were a few sparks coming off of it, and I sped to the corner, which we can see is very close to us. I turned around, stopped the car, rolled the window down, and by that time it had moved from the point where they first saw it to above the trees to our left, and then it went into a small cloud. Again, we spotted it as it came out of the cloud, and very shortly after that, it quickly disappeared.
A third sighting took place near a shopping center in Carpentersville. The witness, Richard Rohrer.
Mr. Rohrer, you saw an unusual sighting of some sort. Can you describe what it was, or describe what you saw?
Yes. Apparently it was an object. I don't know exactly what it was. It was a bright blue object. And
could I interrupt you?
Yes.
Did you see an object, or did you see the light?
No, all I saw was the light.
I see.
All I saw, and I'm considering this an object because I don't know what it was. It was a bright blue light, like a acetylene torch. It had a large body, and it appeared to taper off. When I first sighted it, it was over in this direction here, and it traveled apparently on this side of the tower and went completely down to the end of the shopping center.
Well, you don't mean, or do you mean, that it came between the tower and you?
Yes, this is what I mean. It came on this side of the tower.
This side of the tower?
Right.
There were other witnesses in East Dundee, in Elgin, and further to the west. All saw the same object on the same date at the same time. Dr. Heinig gathered his data and looked for answers. The results of his investigation in a moment. What did they see in Barrington Hills on April 15, 1965? And what did they see on that country road and near the shopping center in Carpentersville? Dr. Heinig believes it was a bolide, a fireball, a meteor as bright as daylight.
We had the situation of many observers, Mrs. Baumgart, Mr. Welch, Mr. Rohrer, being separated by several miles, and observers west of Elgin, as far west as Durand, all of them saying that they saw it predominantly in an eastern direction. Now, if it had been extremely close to any one of them, it could not have been seen to the east by all the people. That is, it had to be a fair distance away. And I think we can conclude that this particular sighting was a bolide. The very dramatic sighting made by Mrs. Crowley is a real puzzler, and I can't say and won't say that I have solved it or know the answer, yet a simple calculation shows that the setting moon was in virtually precisely the position of the sighting of the glow that Mrs. Crowley reported. And the puzzling thing then remains is simply that why didn't she see the moon, which was right smack in the place that the glow was? The case reported by Officer Joe Lukasak and his colleagues in Elmwood Park represents a good UFO, which simply means unidentified flying object. I would like, of course, to be able to explain it as a setting moon, but it would be almost preposterous to try to ascribe to the moon the erratic motions of the object as described and reported by Officer Joe Lukasak.
We believe that while a large number of sightings are explained as natural phenomena, there is still that considerable percentage which are unexplained. These are the ones that concern us.
It is true that a number of UFO reports remain unidentified. However, the Air Force will continue to evaluate this report and any other UFO reports which is reported directly to us. If an observer wishes to report a UFO observation, he should contact his nearest Air Force.
We believe that the Air Force belittles, ridicules both sightings and observers unnecessarily. We feel that the uninformed public are being duped or hoaxed by the weak explanations of UFOs.
After almost 20 years and after having investigated over 9,000 cases, the Air Force has determined that the UFO phenomenon does not present a threat to the national security of the United States. Also, we have determined that the UFO phenomena, as such, does not represent any technological advancement beyond our state of the art.
Please contact us. We are your friends.
For nearly 20 years, we've argued. For nearly 20 years, we've wondered. Have we been watching a fantasy, a legend, a myth? Or is something up there watching us?
Please contact us. Please contact us.
That's so fucking awkward. Please contact us. We believe there's a spaceship behind the comet. Come clean our house and cut off your testicles and follow the spaceship behind the comet. I'm sorry, y'all. You get the real me in these long streams. Okay, so I had another one here. Let's take a look at what I got. These are just ancient from the UAP archives. I figured we'd watch these to kill some time until Trump decides to make a statement. So apparently he doesn't care about these files coming out and not saying anything about them. It's fucking weird. Typical Trump though, right? If you're wondering, that is a white square. Who edited this? Jeez. Oh, okay. That was the end of that recording. Here we go. Now we're into the next one. National Archives. And I don't think this one is as creepy.
This eerie edition of Science World. Are we alone in the universe? We'll talk to some who think so, many who don't. Then meet a real-life UFO investigator and ask him, are we alone? Answers to that mystery and much more coming up on Science World. Many swear they've seen them, ridden them, even been abducted by them. Others have dreamed them up, faked them, and know darned well there's no such thing. And while their existence has not been proven, there is no doubt flying saucers, unidentified flying objects, space aliens are a great curiosity. In addition to books and movies and film clips, there are well over 600,000 internet sightings of UFOs. Proof positive, not that extraterrestrials exist, but that many on Earth believe they do. So if there are intelligent beings in the universe, one obvious conclusion might be that we're not among them, or that we human beings are apparently not worth contacting. There is also the possibility, as we scan the sky, that signals have come from other worlds and our technology is too primitive to find them among the inherent noise of the universe. American University astronomer Richard Berenson.
It is possible, right now, that there are many billions of potential life sites across the cosmos that are sending radiation of some form at this very instant, if we only knew where and how to look.
A valid scientific search of the skies continues from Earth unabatedly at the SETI Institute. SETI stands for Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence. It is a non-profit corporation sponsored in part by the U.S. Space Agency and the National Science Foundation. SETI's mission is to serve as a home for scientific and educational projects about the prevalence of life in the universe.
We're listening. We're listening for the radio signals from intelligent civilizations on the worlds of distant stars.
Dr. Frank Drake pioneered the exploration in 1960, carrying out humanity's first search for interstellar radio transmissions at the National Radio Astronomy Observatory in Green Bay, West Virginia. And the search continues today. SETI's equipment has grown massively. SETI focuses the world's largest radio telescopes in the United States, Australia, and Puerto Rico on thousands of stars thought similar to our sun. They pick up a blizzard of signals, 56 million per second, that are scanned by high-speed computers in search of who knows what.
We listen for a great variety of possible signals. Morse code-like signals, radar signals, signals like the telemetry from spacecraft. This is an example of what an extraterrestrial signal might look like. Notice it's turning on and off, and when we see this signature, then we know that it's a possible detection. It's a very exciting moment when you think you really have the signal.
So far, none of the signals that have made us excited, that have gotten us out of our chairs, has turned out to be extraterrestrial. I mean, we haven't found ET signal, and let's be straight up about that.
SETI scientists aren't surprised or discouraged.
Okay, yeah, so we are still waiting for some form of Trump to come out and speak about the file release. What we're watching here, it looks like, is some good old government propaganda on public television back in the day. So actually, I think I'm going to go ahead and interrupt this with some more. Oh, that's not the one. We had, I think I'm going to have to. Here we go. Yeah, we have some more videos strung together online. As I said, when you go to that site, I'm sure some of you have been there already. There are a ton of different videos to download and go through. This is the National Desk. Some of the ones they found more compelling. So let's check this out here.
Look. Beats like this one make me feel like my soul's free. They pay me to speak from the heart, they think that my soul's free. All of them summers of slappers, baby, you owe me. For real. Probably would slow me down if I carried my trophies. Maybe when no one's around, I rap like the old me. I used to put chains on all of the necks of my broskies, my OGs. Yeah. And now to remember, I took the chains and I broke free. I wonder how long I'll be at the top if they don't kill me. I wonder how long it'll take them to count out 2,000 million.
Like that?
Yeah. 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 And I made way too much in a week. Must be 250 at least. Like the money just grew off a tree. Like the money just came in illegal. Yeah. What? That's just how I feel. Yeah, that's just how. And I love when they talking away. They've been talking since 2008. I do tricks with the money and fame. Give it to you, then take it away. That's just how I feel. Yeah, that's just how. And I went bought a whip for my brother. Same body but two different colors. And I might just sell, I get another. Small price cause he kept it 100. Yeah, yeah. Shout out to Kiki, she love me. Promise me we don't talk about money. Bitch stepping in whatever country. 18 years when we haven't been rusty. 5 years when you rappers turn dusty. And you whole niggas think you can touch me. Whenever y'all fall out of love with me. Yeah. Guess that's how y'all feel. Yeah. Guess that's how y'all. And I really did fuck up the summer. Not the same way y'all fucked up last summer. Got my wrist going dumber and dumber. Got my chain going dumber and dumber. For real. And I made way too much in a week. Must be 250 at least. Like the money just grew off a tree. Like the money just came in illegal. Yeah. What? That's just how I feel. Yeah. That's just how I feel. Yeah. Yeah. That's just how. Can't come put me to sleep. I swear Baba without young weak. Cause the words we be saying are deep. But the truth is I'm not always free.
So what do you think of what we're seeing here, Flak?
Yeah, that one's so fucking weird, dude. You know who posted all these today? Like about 150 of these things. Grider, like first thing in the morning. I don't know if that man got any sleep at all, but Grider had posted anything cool out of the file immediately.
What are you saying?
Glad I'm on his good side. I'm glad I'm on his good side, okay? Because I'm pretty sure he's in line with the fucking aliens now. No one gets that kind of access.
Grider is in HI?
Don't tell him
or
that.
He's plugged in? He has
He's
a
plugged
an
in.
HI cell phone? That's some crazy looking shit right there. Also, what is the black thing that they're blanking out right under the crosshairs?
I don't know. I think maybe
data,
speed
maybe?
or something. It has to be data, but I don't know what the fuck would be in dead center. That like kind of kills your view of the object if you're in the thing. So I don't know what kind of script would even be written there that they'd have to block out. You know,
it's weird. I saw one where it looked like they were blacking out the object, like they were putting a little bar over the object so you couldn't make it. I mean, this like reads like a MUFON report, but this was August 20th, 47. Director, urgent flying disc between 9:30 and 9:45 p.m. last night, August 19th. Mr. and Mrs. H.H. Hinstrom, 3rd Avenue North, Twin Falls, Idaho, while sitting on the front porch with Mrs. Henry Schultz, observed an object resembling a flying saucer traveling very rapidly from the southwest to the northeast section of the city. About 10 minutes later, all of these individuals saw 10 similar objects proceeding rapidly in the same direction in the form of a triangle. As this group of objects was about to disappear in the overcast sky, 3 of these objects on the left flank peeled off and proceeded in a northerly direction. The remaining objects in a triangular formation appeared to close ranks and continue in a northeasterly direction. 3 to 5 minutes later, these individuals saw another group of 3 objects proceeding in the same direction again in the shape of a triangle. 3 to 5 minutes later, informants observed another group consisting of from 5 to 6 objects, again, triangular formation, proceeding rapidly in a northeasterly direction. A few minutes later, a large group of objects estimated at between 35 and 55 and 50 flew over the city in a northeasterly direction. Again, in triangular formation. Between 20 and 25 minutes after the last group was observed, similar objects were noted coming back over the city very rapidly and proceeding in a southwesterly direction. At this time, informants stated that the objects appeared in groups of 3, 5, and 7. At this point, Mrs. Henderson called Detective Richard Frazier of the Twin Falls Police Department, a next-door neighbor who, accompanied by M.E. Roundtree and Richard Scott, also members of the Twin Falls Police Department, proceeded to the Henderson home where they observed a group of 12 objects flying in formation over the city in a southwesterly direction. Informants, all reputable citizens in this community, unable to estimate height of objects or speed, but claimed they resembled illuminated flying saucers. These individuals wrote the opinion that the objects were not the landing lights of airplanes nor shooting stars. None of these objects were seen to come to Earth near Twin Falls, and none appeared to be flying in an arc. Wow, dude. I mean, it sounds like a MUFON report, right? So
yeah.
We hear about like that deal in the 40s, the like the UFO flying disc flap, right? Where didn't like a bunch of them turn up over the White House at one point?
Yep. There was another one a bit later on, which this reminds me of the lights in Arizona, was it?
Mm-hmm.
Where the mayor came out and was real weird, but it was a very similar thing where it was like a V-shaped formation, but it was like a ton of people. Then the
Right.
LA lights, that was, I believe, a bit earlier than that, where they unloaded on the damn thing. And so the weirdest part was that half of the munitions didn't come back down because they were shooting like, I wouldn't say straight up, but almost completely vertically, right? So they were expecting to have shit falling back down, and it wasn't. So it was hitting something and either exploding or whatever, but a good enough portion of their shit didn't come back down. So they were like, okay, there was something up there. It wasn't affected by our gunfire, but.
Okay, let's do this. These folks probably get tired of me reading, so we're going to give them a break from that. And we are going to jump over to this breaking news. It's a Fox News breaking news. So if you hate Fox, my apologies. Just stick with it because they're just covering the Trump release. And then after that, we're going to jump over to the Hill version. So we provide for both sides here. Okay, so this was Fox just a little bit earlier after realizing that Trump followed through and released the files. Well, really, it was the Department of War that had to follow through, right? Like he gave them the order And then there was a lot of debate over whether they were going to actually do it or not. They did it. So here we go.
Trump administration releasing the first batch of files related to UFOs and alien life.
So is the truth really out there?
Senior White House correspondent Peter Ducey joins us live with the details. What have you learned, Peter?
Good morning. So a White House official left this hard drive on my desk overnight. You can see on it, it says AARO files copy 203. That is the all domain resolution office copy 203. This is the first big batch of UFO disclosure ordered by President Trump. Some of the clips and videos on there have popped up different places before. Some of them have not. And we have been going through this all morning and overnight to try to put together some of the best videos so we can all look at this together. This is a world exclusive right here. So let's go to the first clip. Over the skies of the United Arab Emirates in June 2024. An inverted teardrop with a vertically linear trailing mass, as described by the War Department, suspended below. The War Department cannot say for sure what this is. It is officially listed as an unresolved UAP.
I believe, according to Skywatcher, those are called a jellyfish, folks. Come on, get with it.
UAP report. The next video, over the skies of Iraq, December 2022. Moving bottom left to top right of the field of view. All CENTCOM gets from this is an area of contrast. That's what they describe it as. It is officially still listed as an unresolved UAP report. Next video, over the skies of Greece, October 2023. What is described as a small and circular UAP flying near the surface of the ocean towards land. CENTCOM can't tell us what it is. It is officially listed as an unresolved UAP report. Within the last 2 minutes, all of these videos have gone live on war.gov/UFO, and a White House official tells Fox First, while past administrations sought to discredit or dissuade the American people, President Trump is focused on providing maximum transparency to the public, who can ultimately make up their own minds about the information contained in these files. And there's also a fresh look at some historical records. There's this from Apollo 17 included in this big document dump. One of the astronauts says, we've got a few very bright particles or fragments or something that go drifting by as we maneuver. The control center says, Roger, understood. Another astronaut says, there's a whole bunch of big ones on my window down there, just bright. It looks like the 4th of July out of Ron's window. Another astronaut says, yes, now you can see some of them in shape. They're very jagged, angular fragments that are tumbling. This exchange has long been dismissed as floating insulation. But now the White House is saying, while this photo has been previously released and discussed by keen observers, there is no consensus about the nature of the anomaly. And this all started, of course, because we asked the president about it in February.
Barack Obama said that aliens are real. Have you seen any evidence of non-human visitors to Earth?
Well, he gave classified information. He's not supposed to be doing that. You know,
so aliens are real.
Well, I don't know if they're real or not. I can tell you, he gave classified information. He's not supposed to be doing that. Well, he made a big mistake. He took it out of classified information. No, I don't have an opinion on it.
So the government is trying to answer the question, do aliens exist? And the answer is they don't know, but in an effort of transparency, they are giving us all of the material that they are working with as they try to answer that question.
All right,
to you,
Peter, so many questions. The internet has been ablaze about this for a long time. And one of the things that the unidentified anomalous phenomena people want to know is what the government has collected from belief that these things crashed. There was crash retrieval and that we have some sort of evidence. Is there anything in this batch of released files that would answer that question?
There's nothing in this batch, but we've been told that this is about to become a regular thing because there are hundreds of documents and dozens of pieces of media, videos and photos that are contained.
Wow, that's crazy. So we got 17 pages of PDF files, images, videos.
You know what sucks, Gabe? We can't say PDF files now without me automatically thinking of a fucking Epstein case, because for 4 years, no one can say the normal word. They had to change the fucking PDF file. So now, like,
oh my God, that's right.
It's ruined everything. It's ruined everything.
Well, you know what I mean. They've got 17 pages of downloadable content, video, imagery, reports. And from what we're hearing, this is just the tip of the iceberg. This is like the safe stuff they put out first. And some of it is pretty shocking. I mean, I know a lot of people aren't into reading these days, but like we were doing earlier, if you just go through and read that very first FBI report, it's very clear there was a crash in 47 at Roswell, and whatever was there, they recovered. And then they used that as a baseline to see if any other crashes were legit or not. Spelled out right there for you. Like, they couldn't make it any simpler for you to understand. The only thing they didn't put in there is what the craft was, what they did with it, were there any bodies, like all that kind of stuff. That's the only thing they didn't put in there. But from just reading that paperwork and going through it, you can deduce that when they test if there's an alien or a UAP or UFO crash somewhere, they test it against the soil from Roswell. And there's a significant reason for that. And to think that this is just the tip of the iceberg. That's the first file I read. I found that I am so, I think, underprepared for what I'm about to read over the next several days, because I think some of these reports are going to be pretty fucking eye-opening. I mean, everybody likes the really cool video or the really cool images and stuff like that. But when you see what the people that were there were actually documenting, that adds a whole nother perspective to it. Okay, I'm going to switch this. Usually when Flak gets quiet, that's because he's doing research and finding pictures, so I'm just going to leave him alone. We're going to switch over to the the CBS News coverage of the same story, and let's see what they have to say about it.
Will also be hot on your social media feed today. What the hell is that thing? That's what a lot of people are wondering. The Pentagon is releasing more than 160 declassified files.
Fuck is that?
8-pointed star right there. They are identified as an unidentified flying object.
I just figured out. It's a compass rose. It just is missing the north, south, east, and west.
Stanford pathology professor Gary Nolan, you're seeing the same thing I'm seeing. I never thought I would be talking on legitimate broadcast news about the potential for alien life, but here we are. You've done extensive work with those who claim to have interacted with these UAPs. So first of all, can you talk about...
This is Gary Nolan, experiencer vampire.
Your work related to unidentified flying objects?
So actually, primarily,
I kid Gary Nolan.
With another disease, or a so-called disease, which was the Havana syndrome. I got brought in to help study the blood of people who'd claimed to have that, and then eventually got exposed to the UAP area. And I think what's been happening is that there's lots of people say there's no evidence. There's plenty of evidence. Evidence is just data. Evidence is not proof of something. But the evidence, like what you've just shown there, is pretty extraordinary. I don't know what that is. I have never seen that before, and I've seen a lot of things behind the scenes. So what it does is it opens, I think, the imagination for people to say, okay, well, the data is real. So now that we believe that the data is real, now anybody can come up with hypotheses about what the evidence means. Just like evidence is not proof in court, evidence is just, we believe that this data is real.
I'm from part of the United States where known as Skinwalker Ranch. I don't know if you are aware of that.
Oh, I'm very well aware of it. Yeah.
So that's my hometown. So I grew up hearing about UFOs all the time and talking to people who genuinely felt like not only had they seen them, but also had some impacts because they had seen them. You've tracked some of the impacts. Do you know of any impacts or changes to those who have claimed actually seen or interacted with any of these things?
Well, all the people that I've worked with on this, at least let's say the lay public, is they're stunned of what it is that they've seen, and they know what they've seen wasn't reasonable. It's not a distant moving star. They've seen things up close. Now, these are, in scientific terms, anecdotes, but you have to ask the question: how many anecdotes eventually make a fact, right? What's the statistics around how many of these things make a fact? But they're ridiculed by family. They're ridiculed by the public. They're ridiculed by the intelligence agencies.
And this is true. People that have experiencers, my friend Eric, it's a constant so there's a lot of people that are interested in, what's that like to have like an interaction with, but maybe an NHI, some other type of intelligence. And so a lot of people want to know about that. And so he gets hit from all directions of people trying to get the story out of him. He worked with Gary Nolan for a while, and then I think decided it wasn't in his best interest and left Stanford and started working with some other folks. But experiencers, especially lately within this last week, that's come out with JC King, what's his name, Flak?
Well,
You
yeah,
know who
J.
I'm talking
King.
about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
J. King.
Yeah, I want to just say, for the record, fuck that guy. Because these people come to you and feel like they have nowhere else to go. And they feel like you're going to be, and you have projected that you're going to be someone safe for them to talk with. And you're sending them dick pics? Like, fuck you, dude.
Not cool, dude. Not cool,
No.
dude. First up, he got stitched up because of that, right? Like, that blew up in his face. Don't send
You should
your
get legit
dick
stitched
around.
up.
Yeah, don't get your dick. Don't send your dick around in fucking DMs. What are you, out of your fucking mind? You're too old for that
Yeah.
shit, man. Too old
Yeah.
for that shit.
Yeah. It's and the thing is, it's like, it's not like he's doing it to fans or something. He's doing it to people that are legitimately reaching out for help, right? There's not like try calling 211 and ask them, how do you get support as an experiencer? They're going to laugh at you.
That's not even the worst part. The worst part is I think that she had just lost her mother. Her mother was in the hospital or something like that. Like, she was vulnerable. She was in a vulnerable state. So maybe they were talking a bit, and he felt comfortable doing that. But it was like unsolicited. She didn't fucking want it. So I mean, I don't know how that happens unsolicited. I don't send people fucking pictures. Well, I send you pictures of shit all the time. You're one of the very
only
rare
the
few
tip.
ones. Yeah. Well, we had to go there. It was supposed to be ambiguous.
Just the
You
tip,
weren't
just for a
supposed
second.
to talk about that because I'm still worried about that rash I showed you.
I told you, just put some lanolin cream on it. You'll be okay.
Oh, I've been using what is it, calamine. My whole thing is hot pink. I think I might have
Just
mixed it up
don't
with Pepsi.
squeeze the pus out. Don't squeeze the pus out. It just,
Oh man,
it's not
But, like,
good.
I don't know who the fuck does that shit unsolicited. Like I don't know. That's wild, man. It would take a lot of coaxing of somebody saying, "Hey, I really want it," in order for me to even fucking send the goddamn thing out. Let alone me do it unprompted. Like yeah. Maybe it's my inner paranoia that keeps me from doing anything fucking
The
retarded.
male, I think a lot of it is just the male ego, right? Like, I think some of these guys get gassed up, and they don't know how to handle a little bit of recognition, and that's what happens. And it's unfortunate because now that person is going to be half as likely to come forward the next time someone says, hey, you can talk to me about your experience. If you don't think these experiences are important, I don't think you're paying attention, because for 100 years, we've talked about UFOs and things in the sky and abductions and sightings and all this other crazy shit. And for whatever reason, experiencers just aren't part of that conversation. That's like cutting out. If they're experiencers, they've had communication at some level with this NHI. So why are we ignoring these people? It's just so weird to me. Very, very strange. Okay, here is the Hill. This is their interpretation on the release of the files today. So we went right with Fox, and now we're going to the left with the Hill. I like to kind of show both sides, how they're looking at it. With volume, of course.
Breaking this morning, the Trump administration has begun to release files related to UFOs and, quote, extraterrestrial life.
The Defense Department releasing a statement on the new document drop, writing, quote, the American people can now access the federal government's declassified UAP files instantly. The latest UAP videos, photos, and original source documents from across the entire United States government are all in one place. No clearance required. While past administrations sought to discredit or dissuade the American people, President Trump is focused on providing maximum transparency to the public, who can ultimately make up their own minds about the information contained in these files.
Wow. And it's not just the documents. Take a look at these photos released as well. What? So the problem, that first photo really bothers me. All these photos bother me because I know one of them that we saw, the one that looked really dramatic. It was like this big oval metal thing. That is a rendering, just to be clear, of corroborated story by multiple people in some field. Look at this. So they made a rendering of what several eyewitnesses.
So that was that. Obviously, it's not real, but that rendering right there is from an FBI file. So they had somebody go in and show what it would have looked like for this person that shared their experience. And that's in an FBI file. Could you imagine seeing something like that? Yeah, we got a lot to learn, Earthlings. A lot to learn.
Said they saw. Like, what are you talking about? What would that be? How do they explain this?
This looks like the shot from Teletubbies with the Sunshine Child. Like, who made that rendering?
That's a good reference.
That's exactly what that looks like to me. I mean, which it should, right? Like, yeah, you know, I believe this is great. More information, more access. I'm totally fine with all of it. I have to believe that, like, I fully believe there's something else out there. It may not be what we've seen in Men in Black.
No Little Green Man.
Yeah, or Independence Day, right? Like, it may not be those kind of big, scary monsters, but this universe is too big for us to be the only things that have intelligent life around here.
And I'm just happy with more information. I think the American public from, I don't know if you ever watched Bob Lazar, who says he used to work with the government. He was on Joe Rogan and every other show that would have him, and talked a lot about how basically his whole legacy,
Bobby Lasers,
because of the information that he's seen or knows or sharing, and you wonder why he's able to walk around without like the death. Well, he says he's getting death threats, but able to walk around still freely.
So that last thing was pretty trippy looking, right? I'm gonna go back just a half a second. Look at that. It looks like do you remember Star Wars, the sand buggy from the first one they drove in? Uncle Owen's sand buggy. Doesn't that look like Uncle Owen's sand buggy?
Oh yeah, dude. I'd whip through that in what's the forest that they were in? I always forget the name of that damn forest. I think it was from like the second one.
Indoor?
Yeah, boom, where they're whipping through the fucking things on
That's the
on
third
those
one.
little on the scooter jammers, bro.
Yeah.
I'd rock
with
one of those.
With the Teddy Ruxpin Ewoks.
Woo wee. You know they're technically marsupials because of the cassette deck in the tummy.
That's what George Lucas is like, wait, I can make more selling stuffed animals than I do on my movies?
Oh, he probably was pissed about that. He was like, shit.
Oh, that man is so rich.
I sent you
So
two
rich.
new things. We have finally a word from Donald Trump on the thing. I sent you Red
I was
Panda's
looking
post.
at that image and I'm not quite sure how I feel about that. What the fuck is this?
I don't know, but you got to thank Red Panda Koala for that one.
Oh man, I'm not gonna put it because we're on YouTube and
Oh yeah, all right, never mind. I
if we
found
were
an,
just X, I would put it up, but because we're on YouTube, I'm not gonna put it up.
there's an actual photo would have an alien. I sent you. It's the very last photo that I sent you.
Oh my god! You know what you can do? I think you can go to our because we're live on X2. I'm not sure, but I think you can go to our X space and post it there, possibly. Okay, so that's fucking weird. They got Uncle Owen's Land Cruiser there, flying way higher than. I mean, that has to be outside the safety operational zone because in Star Wars: A New Hope, you never saw the Land Cruiser over 5-6 feet levitating off of the ground. So if you're a couple hundred feet in the air, I would call it a dangerous situation.
Without like the death. Well, he says he's getting death threats, but able to walk around still freely if he has all this classified information.
Yeah.
But it speaks to, even whether you believe his story or not, I think it speaks to the larger idea that the average American, and there's been polls about this, believe that there is information in life out there that we're not being told about.
Yes.
And so if the government is hiding anything or not hiding anything, we can say what Neil deGrasse Tyson said. Okay, maybe it'll be uneventful, but at least we're armed with the information we need to feel comfortable that we're not going to see a green man just walking down the street one of these days.
I mean, right? This is how conspiracy theories start, as a vacuum of information. And so providing this hopefully helps, but nobody's ever going to believe it, even if they're given all the information. Also, all of those images, like, what are those? Like, it looks like a speck on a screen. Like, it looks like maybe you're looking through a microscope at a science project. Like, I get that this is more information, but for me, I'm like, huh? Like, well, look at this. Like, that looks like a dirty screen.
Yeah,
it looks like someone. This reminds me of my cousin.
That one's good.
That looks like a microscope. The other one looks like my cousin Vinny when they hold up the photo and they're like, "How much gunk is on this screen that you can tell the tire tracks from over there?" Like, that looks like a helicopter. See, like.
Well, so we had Anna Paulina Luna on the show.
That looks like a
couple
on the
days
screen.
ago, and she was explaining like that she's been calling for this. So she just put like this cryptic tweet on X earlier this morning saying 8 a.m. Like,
yeah.
So I just want to hear now for everybody that was calling for this and said that this needs to be available to the public. Tell us what to.
Yes.
So walk us through this.
Give me a bit of info
This
here.
is what you had access to. So now, like, spell it out for us.
Can
like,
you
I want
explain
layman's
these
terms.
photos to me?
I don't want to see something that looks like a helicopter. The only one I have a biggest problem with is the metal object, but that's a drawing.
Is the Teletubby drawing, right? Yes. See, now we have questions. This is what happened.
Okay, Anna Paulina, we need answers.
So Anna Paulina Luna went on, oh my God, what show is it where she went on and she said she thought they were angels and demons? And remember, she had like this image of the different dimensions that an angel is in or something. Do you remember that, or am I crazy?
Yeah, I do remember that. I don't remember the gist of it because I kind of like blew it off, but it wasn't that big eye thing with the 55 wings on it.
Yeah, she's like, this is an angel, and it's like all the different dimensions. It looks like an AutoCAD drawing of an angel.
Oh, it was that one,
weird.
because she did post one of the Nephilim ones, or the ones where it's like I request that you not be afraid, with like the 1,000 eyeballs.
Yes. Steve making a good point here. The wild part, and I'm not judging. It's always good when it pre-qualifies. Like, I don't think you're a piece of shit, but is that almost all of us who believe the government is hiding alien tech life believe this due to movies and pop culture media, mostly from childhood. I would say, yeah, that's a fair point. But I mean, there's also legitimate stories of people being threatened and told to shut the fuck up about this stuff.
See, like that's why I believe there is some useful information in there, because they wouldn't have just thrown everything at us, right? Like if they were trying to be super good faith and just put forth the best thing, they would have given us like 2 files, and by that I mean like 2 file folders filled with photographs and like already anecdotes that have already been run through the system, because people in our community have already run the gambit of like calling out the hoaxes that are being re-reported through this. You know, like
Right.
So I don't know. It's like a hit or miss. I'm just glad we got a ton of extra new stuff to rifle through.
So what are some of the things that are getting called out? Do you know?
Oh, the alien photo with the 2. Oh man, it looks like I'm not sure what type of military. It could be U.S., could be Russian. But it's like they're walking with the alien in his hands. You know what I mean? Like the alien's got his 2 hands up. It looks kind of decent, but it isn't. I don't know. People have been calling that one out for years.
If you find that, send that over to me, because I don't know that I've seen that one.
Will do.
Okay, so.
Well, what do you want to do tonight? Do you want to run another stream tonight? Because I do want to go back through all these things and like give it a good look through.
Oh yeah, I'm down.
Just because earlier
there's so much more.
Yeah. I went through as much as I could, and I couldn't get through enough of it well enough.
Let's do this. I have a plan of action. Why don't you take the images and videos, and I will take what I can of the FBI files, and let's pick out a few super interesting ones that each of us find, and then we'll sync up back here tonight and go over it with everyone.
Heck yeah, dude. That sounds like a fucking blast. And it's Friday, dude.
Yeah.
Friday fun time with the UFO shit. I'm down.
Hell yes. It's Christmas. It's UFO Christmas. I mean, doesn't get
Unidentified Friday objects. That's what we're going to be getting.
Unidentified Friday objects. That might be what I call the space.
Hell yeah, nice.
All right. So thank you all for hanging out. I think we did a good job covering some of the more shocking things. Again, we didn't even get all the way through that first FBI file, and we're 3.5 hours into this episode. That's how much detail is here. And there are literally at least 10 FBI files in there. Chock full of stuff.
And I'd just like to say, like, prayers to Tupa. He's going through some shit right now. I'm not going to get into it. It's personal things, but just prayers for Tupa. He's I know he's in a hard place right now. So yeah, man, fucking. I hope everything goes. I hope everything goes well, buddy.
Yeah, life can do that, man. It can throw you curveballs when you least expect it, for sure. And we all pray for Tupa. You know, agree or disagree with them. He is, I think, a good person, and I hope he does well.
To be reckoned with. That is my. I got into him for the entertainment value, and I stuck around for all the shit he brings to the table. You know, like, he's funny as shit. He's got a fucking awesome radio voice. Like my man is getting it done, and I don't know. I'm happy to call him a friend.
Yeah, me too, buddy. Me too. He's good people. All right, so we're gonna shut this one down. And look out for a stream from us. We'll do it maybe a little bit later. You know, we usually do a late night stream here. Look out for that. And we're going to cover even more of this craziness that come out. And I have a feeling we're going to be covering this for probably a couple of weeks with all the information that's in there, which is exciting. I mean, this is great. This is new, unsealed FBI and Department of Defense or Department of War, whatever you want to call them, stuff they have kept under lock and key.
And they have a lot of new stuff. From page 17, like, because I got through halfway, and then I kind of got lazy, and I was like, let me just rush over to page 17 and then work backwards. They got stuff from like 2022, 2023, 2025.
They do.
Pretty fucking cool. They got one from Kiev, I think, from 2001.
Yeah, and
just a lot of cool
the videos are like high def, man. You know, it's good stuff. Okay, cool. Should be a good time later. I will get a time posted once we get that set up. Y'all, thanks for hanging out with us on this UFO Christmas day. We're enjoying the gifts, and we're going to unwrap some more later tonight. Have a good one, y'all.
Peace.